The following is a presentation of The Day.
From the campus of New London High School and the legendary Pat Canamella Field, it's the 5-3 New London High School Whalers hosting the 5-3 Killingly High School football team, and all the action is live on Game Day. Game Day is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health, solutions for all your dental health needs. All that's good begins with a smile, and when you visit our office, your smile is our top priority. Our entire team is dedicated to providing you the personalized dental care you deserve, so go visit waterforddentalhealth.com. Casey O'Neill along with Pasta Sanabria, and it's been a little while. We got through our championship week. We missed you, but it's back for some football, and two teams that are playing good football at the same time. New London from a rough start to 5-3, Killingly from that brutal schedule to 5-3. Both teams really looking to sort of catapult themselves off of tonight.
This is a perfect storyline for both teams. We know right now that the tradition on both teams is about developing and getting better, where they lost a lot of athletes on both sides. But tonight will be a testimony. Who's going to be the better 5-3 team? And
you know, these are perhaps the best program in the ECC over the last decade, and the best program in the ECC over the last 30 years. Certainly New London, going back into the mid-'80s, has been the green and gold standard. Killingly has assumed that mantle and has been the premier team in the ECC, and they do battle tonight a little bit differently. When you talk about Killingly, it starts with number 34.
That's right.
The premier player in the ECC by many accounts, Soren Reef. And when you move over to the New London High School Whalers, it's playmakers everywhere. For them, it's going to be about the line play. For Killingly, they've got a very good line play, but I'm going to throw it out there to you, Pasta. To me, tonight's game will be decided, one word, tackling.
That's right. Tackling is a big thing right now because, again, the running backs and the skill players that both teams provide is one move and you're gone. The yak yardage could be impeccable tonight when it comes around making plays. So I would love to see how the line play starts and how they engage and set the tone for this game tonight.
Soren Reef is very difficult to bring down at the point of attack, and Killingly's offense is predicated towards getting him one-on-one with a linebacker or a safety and trusting that his combination of power and speed, and once he's gone, as we've seen with him racking up some incredible rushing yardage, including a 400-yard game, we've seen that he is virtually impossible to stop. On the other side, New London's speed exists both north and south and east and west. They're going to try to get speed to the edge, and they've got 3 or 4 guys who can pop one at any time. But we're going to focus a little bit tonight on the running backs, Chris Jones and Demetrius Fletcher, who are both back and healthy. Fletcher, a very, very dynamic back, along with Jones. And let's not forget Mr. Everything, KK Gaskin. He can return punts, he can return kicks, he can return pick sixes. Dynamic playmaker. So this has the makings of a good one.
Yes, sir. I love KK. I love his tenacity. Since a little boy, he's always wanted to be a big-time player. And then when you think about Soren Reef, that Larry Zonka swagger, you know, that Earl Campbell power, but some speed that people can't determine when you just look at him. He can take off when he gets through that gap. So it's going to be really exciting how this running game should come out tonight.
So Killingly going left to right on your screen is in the whites with the gold pants. New London in the classic, iconic green and gold tops with the white pants. Killingly will kick off. New London has its guys back to receive. And Thursday night football is upon us. The kick to the sideline taken by the Whalers. And New London will have it 1st and 10 up around the 40-yard line. And that's where we'll see the junior, Jack Philiston. He's a big quarterback in both size and talent. New London has seemed to find a lot of success with him under center recently.
The Whalers will start this drive 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line.
So they'll start with Fletcher as the back, standing to the left of Philiston. Handoff goes to Fletcher, and he'll get 3 off of right tackle to start us off.
really excited how Killingley set themselves up to be a 3-4 defense in the front there. It keeps everything contained. You know, sometimes defenses that have 4 down linemen are gap protection, but an odd front can really help keep everything contained, and that's what they need to do against New London.
4 receivers. Motion man comes across. Philistine screen. Outside and hit immediately. And taken down for a loss is Kenyatta Roberts. That's going to be a big play for the Killingley defense.
That's a great defensive swarm by Killingley. They read that play. They stayed home, and they actually wrapped up and, you know, got a good position. And that's the momentum that you're going to have tonight for Killingley. They definitely have to get New London in a 3rd and long situation, put them into that throwing motion, get those defensive linemen and linebackers getting good pressure on them.
And that was Tyree Barnes, and I should know better because Tyree Barnes is one of those playmakers that we talked about. You're going to hear names like Zuri Craig, Tyree Barnes, Kentrell DeSources, Macho Burris. They're playmakers everywhere for the Whalers. But 3rd and long facing them now as Philistine stands on his own 30. Has time, plenty of time. Deep ball over the middle, incomplete. He was looking for Burris and sailed it just over his head into zone coverage, and that'll bring up 4th down, and the Whalers will punt.
Great series for that defense to go off like that and play some good coverage. Really, you were ahead of the game when you could get that 3rd down and long, play a good zone coverage on top, and it's hard to throw a deep pass in that what New London needed at that time. It didn't come through for them this series. We'll see how it works on for the next series.
Allard and Lamont back to receive the punt. Irizarry is the punter for New London. It should be noted, of course, that he is also a former starting quarterback and is currently one of their quarterbacks in their rotation, so there's always the threat of some shenanigans. But he will punt. A nice punt. Drives Allard back to his 30-yard line. Allard hit and pushes forward to the 45-yard line. DeSources was the first to make contact with him. Killingley will have good field position at their own 45-yard line.
Joshua Blanding helped on the tackle.
You know, coming from a program that played some great quality teams and taken some tough losses, that's something that I always say builds character, you know, as opposed to just having a couple losses where you could have won. So, you know, with the offense mind right now with the Redmen, the Killingley football team, you know, my thing right now is how they're going to set the tone on that first play. I think they're going to go run that ball.
I formation. Sumner is the quarterback. Hand off to Soren Reef. Reef breaks a tackle. There goes the speed. Can he get to the edge? Stiff arm and ridden out of bounds as he mushes the New London defender Barnes, but a big play by Reef on 1st down.
What a great start. A good perimeter blocking. The guard and tackle sealed off, and he led right way to the outside edge. And his speed is, again, you can't determine how fast he is, but that power was right there.
34-yard line.
1st and 10, ball marked at the 35-yard line. They stay in the eye, Twins to the left. Handoff left side to Reef. Big hole, stiff arm, and held on nicely. Give Parks credit on the edge. He held on and stopped Reef after a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, Soren's the kind of kid that you can't tackle with just one guy. He's got to be the one to grab cloth, and everybody else has to wrap him up and bring him up, bring him down to that play.
Parks, one of the premier defensive end, Kyle Parks, in the league. He just held on, and that let his team flock to the ball. Whistle here on 2nd down, and we're going to get a flag. We'll see what the officials call. Looks like it's against New London.
Flags on the play. Offside.
Offside, so that's going to put Killingley at 2nd and short. That'll be 2nd and 3.
That Killingley football team offensive line is just phenomenal. They're big guys.
XR Julius.
Yes.
XR Julius, along with Ortiz. Big group. I formation. Handoff again to Reef. And Reef tackled from behind, losing his helmet, but not losing the tackle is the Whalers' Josh Blanding.
He was right there, lost his helmet on that play, but he wrapped and tackled where he needed to. Eyes on the thigh board. If you can grab Soren Reef's thigh board and wrap up, that really neutralizes his downforce running.
I said tackling would be huge. Blanding took it seriously. He lost his helmet, but not his head.
That's right.
Gonna throw, play action. Sumner in the air, and that ball is incomplete. Defended well by Burris. Lamont was the intended receiver, and Killingly will have a 4th down and 5.
That's the way you want Macho playing it. You know, he saw it, kind of read right under it, and then as soon as the ball got there, he put his arm right around and wrapped through the guy, caused the ball to come out. Great defensive play by Derek Macho Burris.
4th down for Killingly. They will go for it with the ball sitting on the 30-yard line. They need to get to the 25 for a 1st down. They go with their pro shift, twin receivers to the right. Wide toss to Reef. Beats the first defender. Breaks another tackle. Has a 1st down. Still on his feet. And there's a flag down. But the Soren Reef show got a 1st down for Killingly if it stands. I think it's going to be a hold against Killingly on the edge. That first defender that had a chance at Reef, and it is a hold.
Totally correct on that one. When he was trying to get the edge and try to seal off, he had to hold the shoulder pads. That just definitely was visible for the referees to make that call.
Well, if I can see it from up here,
oh yeah,
they can see it from down there. And that's a big penalty because Killingly had the 1st down. And now it'll be interesting. 4th and, say, 18, they're going to go for it. But certainly, I don't think this is a place where they'll run it unless they're going to try to treat it like a punt. Sumner under center, I formation. He'll throw, fakes it, pressured, sets up a weak side screen. Heading down the sideline and going to be short of it, but crossing the 30 to the 28-yard line was Hunter Allard, the sophomore. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Whalers, so the Whalers hold.
A great defensive series for the Whalers, but also that help with the penalty does really push them in, you know, that positive factor. I think that in this situation, Killingly's confident with their defense, and they're going to go for 4 downs throughout that most portion of the second half of that 50.
1st down, Whalers. Ball sits at the 27-yard line. Philistine from the shotgun. Ball's on the turf and recovered by the Whalers. That was a fumble on the exchange between Philistine and Jones. That was going to be Jones' first carry. Fletcher had the first series, and that looked just like a bad exchange, maybe a little high on the shoulder pad.
Yeah, that quarterback definitely has to put that ball right in that, we call that the upper abdominal area, so that if he has to pull, he's able to do so. Right there was just a quick pop. And, you know, the weather, brother, is going to be a big factor now that it's getting a lot colder.
You don't call it the bread basket?
We
put the loaf right in the bread basket.
Well, my belly right now is more like the meatloaf basket.
I do like a good meatloaf.
Yeah.
We got a false start against New London, and that'll back them up 5 more. So both teams right now hurting themselves a little bit with penalties in the early going.
Yeah. I always thought it was a little bit, you know, shaky when you start on a Thursday night, you know, and you're playing a game that you're probably one of the few teams out there that, you know, it's pretty good packed fans out here tonight watching it. Got to get themselves structured to kind of play good disciplined football here.
It was senior night here at New London, or it is, in fact, senior night here at New London, and they honored their seniors beforehand on a nice ceremony on the field. Jones stays at the running back. Philistine from the shotgun. He's going to throw. Rolls a little bit, sets up the screen, backside to Jones. Jones is not going to elude Reef. Reef comes in and tackles him for a loss back inside the Whaler 20.
Yeah, Reef read that pretty smoothly. It was an easy read. They're playing zone coverage. They are looking at the quarterback. And that throw was, you know, not something to really be quick about. You really want to pop that ball right to him so he can make a move. So, again, they're trying to get themselves acclimated here.
Yeah, as soon as he floats it, it gives the linebacker time to make up a lot of ground.
Yes, sir.
Reef was there, but Jones really had no chance. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 22, it looks like, for New London. Jones goes in motion. Philistine to throw. Has plenty of time. Over the middle, it's incomplete. He was looking for Barnes, and the Whalers will be punting again. And I will say this, unlike the first time we saw New London, Philistines had time to throw.
Yes, that was good pass protection right there.
But those middle passes, and I noticed on the field, I was down there watching him throw earlier, they were questioning his release point. He was releasing the ball a little bit high, even on those little dig routes. He was sailing balls high. He's going to have to get that tucked a little bit down, because that throw, if it sails high there, that's an interception.
Yeah, I was with the great coach Ken Reyes. He used to always say, try to flick that football right to the face mask. That way he could catch it.
Irizarry launches a good punt, and it sails out of bounds, and the official will walk it down to the 43-yard line, and that's where Killingly will have it, 1st and 10. So we missed you last week, but what a great championship week it was.
I saw it online. It was exciting. Those games were amazing.
We had 2 great girls soccer games, some great sportsmanship from Montville. We had some 2 great boys games, including our first ever game day penalty kicks. Montville won Division II through PKs.
Great defense for that young man, right?
And then volleyball, we had a great time. Handoff to Reef. Stiff arms and gains 4 on first down.
It's good to see that these linebackers are all keying on the big man Reef, because you just can't have one guy spying on him. So the defense is really set up tonight to make sure they can try to stuff the running game there, and this will be openings for play action if Killingly can set that up.
You know you're a big deal when kids dress as you for Halloween, and I did see on Facebook on Halloween multiple Killingly kids whose Halloween costumes were Soren Reef.
That's awesome.
Like, that's when you know you're kind of a pretty big deal when they dress as you.
He's a great young man, a lot of energy, and his off-season workout really showing up this season.
Fullback dive and a first down to Reef. They moved him into the fullback spot that time, gave him the quick hitter, and that's good for a first down to the 25-yard line.
Really smart move. Moving from tailback position to fullback position, the linebackers have to read that and know Soren's there. Someone should have called it out so that their key adjustments will be on Reef. But right there, he snuck in there and got some good positive yardage.
Allard is now the tailback, Reef the fullback. They're going to pound the middle with Reef rather than work the edges. This time they're going to throw it. Looked maybe like a broken play. Sumner keeps it and gains perhaps 3 or 4 yards. Whalers, nice job on first down. 3-yard gain.
Number 56, Stefan Lewis Green, helped down the tackle.
2nd and 7.
Second down at 7.
London heavy with 8 in the box.
Another dive to Reef, and the Whalers rally. A boatload of Whalers, as we like to say.
Yes, sir.
That'll bring up 3rd and short. Call it 3rd and a long 4.
Well, now what they're doing for those fans out there, Football 101, is that they're putting 8 men in the box. That means they have 2 linebackers inside, 2 linebackers outside with 4 defensive linemen. They want to cover every gap possible for Killingly. And then, that does sacrifice yourself to be, played on play action. But, again, situations like this where they know Killingly's a heavy run team, you want to make those calls.
3rd and a long 4. I formation for Killingly. Play action. Rolling right is Sumner. Rolling, pressured, looking, throws, complete. Bumps, dives for the pylon. Gabriel Torrent, touchdown. Flag on the play.
The pass was complete. Sumner to number.
I don't know, maybe a lineman that was going downfield. We're not sure yet, but usually sometimes when it's thrown in that area, it could be a lineman that went downfield.
We'll see what the call is. It was a great catch. Torrente got it, put his head down, and banged into the end zone, hit the pylon. But I think they're looking like, Killingly is not looking like a team that just scored a touchdown. And I think this one's going to get marked off against Killingly. And in fact, it is. Block in the back, the devastating block in the back. That's going to be loss of a down, 4th down.
I'd say since watching him in the first game, Quinn has been more patient in the pocket, rolling out and making sure he can make a right throw there.
4th down, and it was in fact an illegal receiver downfield.
Ball is at the New London 23-yard line.
Fakes the reverse. Sumner to throw. High fade into the end zone. Jump ball incomplete. He was looking for Allard, and it was well defended by the Whalers, and the Whalers will hold again on defense.
That's a great job. They stayed home. There was the old saying that the old man used to say, stay home and read your man. They were throwing a little fake reverse there, thinking that those corners could step up on the reverse, but they didn't. And the safeties were on top to make that play. Good job by the Whalers.
I would say if there's been a theme with New London in the last 5 years, something that Coach Bobby Sanchez has really, really worked on, it's that discipline.
Yeah.
New London talent has been there, but they have hurt themselves through penalties and mistakes. Staying home is a discipline.
Definitely.
First down. Quarterback keeper. Ball's loose. Pumped through. Killingly has recovered. Aiden Lamont with the recovery as the ball was popped out. And Killingly will have a short field on their own 25 yards, on the New London 25-yard line.
His effort definitely was credited, but when you run through the ball, where you have defenders near you, you have to tuck that ball inside high and tight. And if you did that, you could go downhill and make a positive play. But if you try to stretch any form of that with the weather, the balls change. I always tell them, football weather changes the football. And that's what happened there, a slippage and, man, a big play for Killingly.
And this is where Killingly offense will wear you down. You can't have your defense out on the field that much. Handoff to Reef. And New London, great job. The speed to the edge gets Reef for a loss of 3.
A good slant by that defensive front. They saw it, they read it, and they made that play.
Jose Rivera, the first to get on Reef, rode him through for a loss of 2.
Caleb McCalla helped on the tackle. Loss on the play, second down and 12.
McCalla was also in on that tackle. 2nd and 12 for Killingly. Both, we said maybe this might be 45-40 right now. Both defenses come into play.
It's a big chess game right now.
We're going to get a flag here. I think that's going to be a false start against Killingly. It was, and that'll back them up. So, you know, if either team could avoid 2nd and 17, they'd be able to run a lot more of their offensive, playbook.
Yeah, this season of football has been a cue of defensive discipline, offensive discipline that has been just, off for many teams. But, again, once you get the tempo and you get comfortable with it, you lock in, you can be successful.
To throw, Sumner, deep ball, over the middle, has a man in stride, touchdown, Aiden Lamont, Killingly, with no flags.
That was a play right there. Good job with the play action.
The high teardrop throw from Sumner. Lamont runs underneath it in double coverage, but the throw was beyond the outstretched arms of the double coverage, and only Lamont could get there.
What could be the too high safety route? A nice post right down the middle, and that's what he did. He ran between both safeties and got it in the end zone.
Extra point coming for Killingly, up 6-0. Snap is good. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So Logi knocks the kick through, and with 3:11 remaining in the first period, Killingly strikes first. It's 7-0. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Being part of a great community is so important. People helping and supporting others can be very uplifting and contagious. At Philomena's Restaurant, that's exactly what you get. It's the community hub for not just Waterford, but all of southeastern Connecticut. Birthday parties, anniversary dinners, weddings, sports banquets, a drink with friends, and of course, charity events. Philomena's has been, is, and will always be there for the community. Celebrate and support southeastern Connecticut at Philomena's. Philomena's, Utopia Plaza in Waterford.
So 7-0, and we said this is exactly how we drew it up. We said this would be a defensive battle where Killingly's air attack was going to be the difference in the game. That's exactly what we talked about.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if that didn't come across to you at home. We talked about that off air. The conversations off air are very insightful.
Rodney Dangerfield would have said, "Hey, who would have thought that, huh? I get no respect on my calls, huh?"
I think Whalers have to be pretty happy, even with the touchdown defensively. The coverage wasn't bad.
No.
They were beat, but they were in stride, and it was off of a turnover by the offense. So
it's good to see that the coaches did have they have a good game plan. It's just effectiveness throughout the whole thing right now.
Kick is high, spiraling, comes down short at the 25-yard line to Barnes. Barnes with a nice run to the outside, gets all the way up near midfield, and New London will have great field position on their possession. One thing we did not mention, but we should, New London is without its starting center, Christian Delacruz, the senior.
Yeah.
Our big guy, Javon Ford, number 50, who's no stranger to game day or to the offensive line. He's been on game day for, it feels like 5 years. He's only a junior, but I feel like I've been saying his name for a long time.
Remember, he has his brothers, and his brothers in the previous, they've been playing for decades here. His father
There's
helps
been a
in the youth
Ford here for
sports.
30 years, yeah.
Yeah, I tell you. Good family.
49-yard line, Philistine from the shotgun. Hands it off to Fletcher. Fletcher struggles to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he won't. Brought down by Joseph Mackey.
A Great defensive call with a double outside blitz there. Squeezing him in, trying to keep Fletcher in control.
So, saying that name, Mackey, reminds me of big Ron Mackey, a transfer here to New London that played football along with Fletcher. We have an injured Whaler on the field, so while they attend to him, we're going to take a quick timeout. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Well, as we head into a brand new season on Game Day, we want something brand new to come to all of you as well. Game Day launching its merchandise store for the first time. Now, as you know, greatness has no off-season, and Game Day has no off-season either. We're always working to provide you the best we can do, and that includes great merch. So come on into the merchandise store for Game Day. As the season progresses, who knows who's going to say what that'll make it onto the next Game Day t-shirt. Find out in the merch store. After the game, follow Game Day CT on social media to see our pick for the Scient Federal Credit Union top play. Pave the way for your students' financial success with a MySci account from Scient Federal Credit Union. Open a high-yield MySci savings account today and help support a positive financial future for your student. Visit scientfcu.org to learn more. We're back. It's 7-0 Killingly with 2:40 remaining in the first period. New London has the ball at its own 48-yard line, facing a 2nd and 11. Caleb McCalla was just able to walk off the field of his own power. And the Whalers will operate on 2nd down with Philistine in the shotgun and Fletcher as the tailback. Jet sweep. Up the middle goes Burris, and Burris will have about 9 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd and 4 for the Whalers.
Very good play. Trying to go a little misdirection right there, and as the quarterback was reading it, he's seen that the linebacker went with him. You give the ball in, a quick cut up field, you got yourself a good positive yardage there.
Looks like New London not exactly sure where they want to be. Gaskin heads out wide right, along with Burris. Fletcher is the tailback. In motion he goes now. Philistine's going to do a direct quarterback keeper. He'll have the first down and more. Big gain by Jack Philistine all the way to the 30-yard line.
A great play call right there, because you want to definitely see how the linebackers are moving. They keyed on Fletcher, and he slid out. The lineman had enough blockers to match up with that defensive front. Great play right there.
Well, you have to see how big Jack Philistine is to realize that he's a load to bring down, and he's quick. First down for the Whalers. Killingly showing blitz. Hand off to Fletcher. Fletcher with a nice hole, cuts it back, heads to the outside. Fletcher crosses the 10 and ridden down at the 2-yard line by Lamont. But Demetrius Fletcher has them on the doorstep.
That was a smooth run.
Lamont saved the touchdown, but 1st and goal, New London, ball at the 2. So the Whalers will operate from the goal line package here. Bring in Parks as an extra tight end. So they're going to have 2 tight ends to the outside.
Big heavy set.
Philistine going to keep it himself, runs behind Jones. Now he reverses his field, needs to break a tackle, can't do it. Wait,
still up.
Still on the ball, but that's all the way back to the 10-yard line, and that's a lineman. So I think that's Ford, actually. That's the center. So right there is what we like to call a
lineman's dream. He almost had it.
We're going to call that a whatchamacallit. That was a whatchamacallit play, because I don't know how to describe it other than to say Philistine went right thinking he had the block of Jones. It was blown up. So he cuts it back, and then he's done. And he clearly watched Game Day's Brady Sutman pitch the ball back to his quarterback, and he thought, well, why not give it to my center?
Or he watched probably the last championships of rugby, and he just scrummed it to his lineman.
It's going to be 2nd and goal. Now the ball's all the way back to the 10. Handoff Fletcher. He's running wide. He has to get outside. He's not going to do it. Brought down by Allard, and now Killingly, sensing that they have a chance to keep New London out of the end zone. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 10.
Hunter Allen's been phenomenal on the outside edge. I mean, he's really playing to the hip level of the speed of New London and making sure it comes back into his teammates. Wow, explosive plays from New London looked great, and then all of a sudden, you know, they got stifled there in the red zone with a great Killingly defense running it up on them.
We're at the end of one quarter. Killingly 7, New London nothing, but New London's got it 3rd and goal. When we come back, you're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Being part of a great community is so important. People helping and supporting others can be very uplifting and contagious. At Philomena's Restaurant, that's exactly what you get. It's the community hub for not just Waterford, but all of southeastern Connecticut. Birthday parties, anniversary dinners, weddings, sports banquets, a drink with friends, and of course, charity events. Philomena's has been, is, and will always be there for the community. Celebrate and support southeastern Connecticut at Philomena's. Philomena's, Utopia Plaza in Waterford.
Second quarter about to start with a 3rd and goal for the Whalers at the 10-yard line. Killingly up 7-0. Casey O'Neill along with Pasta Sanabria.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, Game Day is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health, right? So, interestingly enough, I had a dentist appointment right before I came here. It's been a while since I have had it's been a little over a year. So they gave me the numbing wash, the 3-minute numbing wash, because she basically said, I'm going to need to take a chainsaw and a chisel to the plaque in your teeth. She goes, you have great teeth, lousy gums, and I'm going to do some damage in there. So get this numbing. Yeah. So my mouth, if you hear my tongue, I'm still a little slurry because I still got a little numbness going.
I'll be a little Mike Tyson with you if you want me to.
But my teeth look fabulous.
They look great, brother.
3rd and goal. Little delayed track. And back inside the 5-yard line goes Fletcher, and that'll bring up 4th and goal, and that got 6. So the Whalers are back into a reasonable down in distance here at 4th and goal from the 4.
Yeah, you're not going to force a pass play, but you can mix up any opportunities right now.
I think I might give it to Fletcher again and say, listen, offensive line, time to step up. And if not, we've got them pinned back. That guarantees that New London will throw the ball on 4th and goal. Philiston sends Fletcher in motion. Philiston to throw over the middle, zips it on a line. Touchdown Whalers, Darren Roberts. Beautifully thrown ball from Philiston right to number 3. And the Whalers are an extra point away from tying it at 7.
Back in the day, New London used to run a play called a slant, slide. But this one was a slant with a fair in the back. I know the old man Buticor will be happy because that was one of the plays that we utilized a lot when we matched up in a man-to-man principle. Double slant, he saw the inside being the first wide open guy. Great play for New London.
Some of the great Whalers in history, wide receiver-wise, have run that slant with great effectiveness. And it's a throw that quarterbacks with great arms and quarterbacks with okay arms can both throw. Those slants. Whalers in for the extra point. Snaps low. Extra point goes up. And it's good. Whalers punch it in. Tie it at 7. We got ourselves a ball game. Come on back. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Fall is here, which means it's time for Game Day's Great 8. The best 8 plays of the week submitted by you, the viewers, on any of our social media platforms. You send us the best videos from practice or the game, any sport in the fall, and we might see about putting it on the Great 8 of the week. (7-7) with 11:17 remaining here in the first half on senior night on the iconic Pat Canamella Field on the campus of New London High School. Killingly are going to receive. New London will kick it off. Ball will be marked on the 40-yard line. Talk a little bit more about what needs to happen there. Philiston threw a perfect pass. Tell us why.
Well, the double slant is a man kind of offensive play. When you see that matchup, you can get inside leverage and be wide open. The important part is the quarterback reading it quickly and throwing it with velocity, because if not, it could be a pick.
Short kick comes down to Peyton Wallace, and much like the English on the Scottish fields, Wallace is hit hard.
Tell you, the momentum right now for New London is building up. They're really excited they got into a touchdown, and they're playing this game well. People were thinking that this game was going to be easily like a run game show for Reef, but the first half showed they had a good defensive unit playing the game well and setting it up. Yeah, obviously they gave up the pass, but that's what they rather take.
Well, we said defensive battle with both teams scoring through the air.
Yeah, well said. I'm drawing a little diagram right now of a pass play. I'm going to throw it down there, see if it works.
Full house package for Killingly. Handoff up the gut. Reef gain of about a yard. Credit to the interior of the New London defense. Nothing there for Killingly.
Yeah, solid defensive front. Those front defensive linemen are doing little stunts, little quick moves, gap responsibility, but they're not letting them set into one's position. They're going to stay there and hold the gap. They can move from one gap into another and cause that offensive lineman to misread their blocks, and that's what they're doing right now.
That was big. Jefferson Bernadou, he was all over that one. Handoff again. Big hole for Reef. One man to beat, and he holds on. That's Parks. But Reef crosses midfield. He's into New London territory. If Parks didn't hold on, Reef was gone.
That tank would have been gone all the way downtown. Just a solid run. I mean, and he also has one of the most important things that any great running back has. Great ball security. As he's running, he's not extending it out. He's staying in the gap, and then once he penetrates through, he gets to his track form.
Play action. Wide open. Deep ball. And it's just over the outstretched arms of Hunter Allard. Sumner wants that one back because Allard was wide open.
Wide open, yes he was. Those are the things that you can't, miss up on. That play action play would have really changed the momentum of the game.
Tight end leaked out, and Allard, I think, again, we've seen this a few times this year where receivers have broken stride looking for the football. I think Allard is guilty of it that time. He was wide open, he turned and stopped his stride to find the football, and I think Sumner put it in perfect spot. Second down. They go back to Reef. Reef hit in the backfield, sheds the tackle, leaps over another defender, and gains 5.
On the carry. Jefferson Bernadou helped on the tackle.
Bernadou back on the tackle again for the Whalers. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5 with the ball at the 46-yard line of New London.
What a great chess game right here when you talk about the field position that's been going on. Killingly seems confident that if they win that field position and score, they can attain it again.
Toss right to Reef. Bumped right near the sticks at the 40-yard line. It's all going to depend on the official signal and where they mark it. Where's the spot? I think it looks like it's enough for a first down, and it is. The chains will move, and the ball will be spotted at the 41-yard line.
On the tackle, runner was good for his first down, 1st and 10 for Killingly.
It's a lot of pep and hustle by the Whalers, getting some good substitutes in there. Coach looks like he's orchestrating a defensive play call there. Amazing calls.
Sumner, the sophomore. Stay with the full house backfield. Toss again to Reef. This time off the left side. Cuts it back up the middle. Breaking tackles. Has a first down and crosses the 30. So Soren Reef starting to get the spoon in the bowl. Feed me, feed me.
That's a psychological spoon that really New London cannot take all the time. They're good when they have momentum, and they build that when they have consistency in their plays. But when you have a running game that keeps on beating you down, that could take your mental break and really put it in a bad side.
Toss right to Reef. Has a big hole and a nice block and gains 8 on first down. And this is where you'll see a lot of Soren's totals. 30 carries, 35 carries. They are going to ride him.
Right, definitely. Power crunching. The old school 3 yards in a cloud of dust. People used to make fun of that. But this is the style of football that even in today's football evolution has a foundation for it.
Whalers want a timeout, which I think is a good timeout. They want to talk over their defense. So we'll take a quick break, too. Watching Game Day live on day.com. Well, as we head into a brand new season on Game Day, we want something brand new to come to all of you as well. Game Day launching its merchandise store for the first time. Now, as you know, greatness has no off-season, and Game Day has no off-season either. We're always working to provide you the best we can do, and that includes great merch. So come on into the merchandise store for Game Day. As the season progresses, who knows who's going to say what that'll make it onto the next Game Day t-shirt. Find out in the merch store. Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe. Second and 5 for Killingly. New London took a timeout as Soren Reef has put Killingly on his back. And look at him. They're already lined up and ready to go. This offense is running downhill right now, and they're feeling it. Second down. Hand off to Reef. Inside, he cuts it back to the middle and gets a first down. I don't know if Reef realized that if he bounced it outside, he might have had a big gain, but he went inside of Devin Exar Julius instead, which is always a safe choice.
One thing about Kinley that they do well is they use the power game, but misdirect. What they did there was they took their two fullbacks in there, moved them to the right, and let Soren choose a backside cut. And that's what made him have a big play there.
Pitch right, Reef breaks the initial tackle, and then New London does a great job rallying to the football, and they get him for almost no gain. Credit Joshua Blanding. He was the one that got to Reef in the backfield and disrupted the lanes there.
Don't want him to have a head full of steam coming around that line of scrimmage, and he did hold him off from doing that. Allowed the team to wrap up and tackle.
Something that you brought up, I think, with Reef, it's not just stopping his forward momentum, it's cutting his vision.
Yes.
He has such great vision. You said, he'll pick his holes. Well, if I'm the first guy there, I disrupt that vision because now I'm in your sights.
He becomes the immediate threat, yeah.
Up the middle goes Reef, and he'll gain 4. New London here with a big third down. They've got Killingly in a manageable defensive spot for New London, right? 3rd and 7.
Yep.
Let's see if Killingly puts it in the air. Almost assuredly, if Killingly doesn't get it on 3rd down, they'll go for it on 4th. So do you run it with Reef twice? Do you take your play action shot here? The chess match that you mentioned continues.
It continues right now. But the good thing about New London is I like their substitution. They know they have a situation here where we can get another extra big lineman in there and help out. So that's a good chance for down the Whalers to make a positive play on it.
Toss right to Reef. He goes straight up the middle, and he's going to be just short of the first down. It's going to bring up 4th and 2. Ball at the 11-yard line. If Killingly gets a first down, it'll be 1st and goal. If they do not get a first down, it will be Whaler football.
There's the substitution again.
Hard count, and I think they got the Whalers to jump. Whalers are saying they moved. Officials say no, and Killingly's going to get a 1st and goal without running a 4th down play.
Smart move.
Offside penalty against New London. 5-yard penalty.
I feel bad for the lineman, Bernadou. He had to run off the field sprinting 100 miles an hour, and his teammates jumped anyway.
Jumped off sides, poor guy. But he's going to have to do the hills in practice next week.
1st and goal at the 6, Killingly. Hand off to Reef. Puts his head down, and he's inside the 5 to the 1-yard line. So Killingly will have it 2nd and goal from the 1.
Great power football. Those linemen are really doing a great job right now, holding their weight. This is the kind of game you're into the second quarter. The temperature of the offensive lineman is nice and warm, and they're trucking. This is the kind of attitude you want to take now.
I've got a shiny nickel that says this goes to Reef on 2nd and goal.
You go for it.
Hand off to Reef, and Soren is scoring. Touchdown, Killingly, 13-7. They go on top as Reef carried it all the way up and down the field and plunged it in the end zone for the touchdown.
There's your wooden nickel. There you go, right there. Hey, speaking of which, when you went to the dentist today, have you ever tried a water pick? I was recommending.
I have my water pick.
Oh my God, I love the thing. I got all these different devices in there, and boy.
When we come back after our break, I'll tell you the water pick story.
Sounds good.
See if I can gross out Peter any more than I already have. Logie in on the extra point. Good snap, good hold, good kick is through and true. 14-7 Killingly, 5:30 remaining. We'll be right back. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. After the game, follow Game Day CT on social media to see our pick for the Scient Federal Credit Union top play. Pave the way for your students' financial success with a MySci account from Scient Federal Credit Union. Open a high-yield MySci savings account today and help support a positive financial future for your student. Visit scientfcu.org to learn more. Well, let's see how the Whalers match the drive from Killingly as they're now trailing 14-7. Killingly will kick off right to left. So my mom paid, $5,000 back in 1987. So she always calls it my $5,000 smile. And every dentist I've ever been to has always said, "Wow, you have got great teeth. You must really take care of them." Not really, but thank you. Then they go, "But my God, your gums are terrible. You must not take good care of them." And I'm like, "No, I really don't." So I got a water pick a couple years ago, and it made a huge difference.
Yep.
But somewhere like 3 or 4 months ago, my water pick needed to be cleaned,
Yeah.
and I just didn't. I just got lazy.
You got lazy on it, and you know what happens?
Yep.
Oh, Lord. It backfired on you.
Big kick. Gaskin takes it at the 15-yard line. And Caden Gaskin, KK, takes it out to the 36-yard line. Whalers will have good field position. So, yeah, I have so now I had to disinfect and clean out the water pick significantly because there's nothing worse than getting bacteria in your mouth. Bacteria in your mouth. So now I got a nice clean water pick, and the dentist made me promise. She said if you don't.
I love mine. I go right there every day. It's waterproof. It helps with my singing. But the first day, I almost lost my eye socket, though, because I didn't know which button to use.
Oh, yeah.
And it just blasted
If you're at a level 10, that's like power washing your house with that thing. First down, Whalers. Twin running backs. Philistine gives it to Jones. Check that. No gain on first down.
Seems consistently that Killingly will do a run blitz defense call on the first down of every play for New London and to stuff them and put them in a position with a second and definite long.
I am a little surprised New London doesn't run more screens, more bubble screens. With this array of speed that they have, most schools are running that.
And the defense is giving it to you, too.
Jones went in motion. Philistine forewent the pitch, kept it himself, and he was buried early behind the line of scrimmage. Coming out of the pack was Darren Exarjulius, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 12.
Darren Exarjulius lost on the play, 3rd down and 13.
I see a quarterback that can throw the ball, and I see a lot of edge speed. I would try to get the ball out into those playmakers' hands as early as possible.
Yeah, I totally agree. Right now that the Killingly's defense is pretty much playing a soft zone. As you can see, the receivers out there have 6 yards of open space.
Timeout, New London.
Yeah, it's a timeout.
Timeout, New London. We'll keep it here. I'm going to bring Peter Wappy on with us for a second. Peter, we're about 4 minutes away from halftime. What does our folks at home have to look forward to at halftime?
We've got the interviews we did earlier in the year with Macho Burris and Soren Reef. We've got the most recent Grade 8, and we've got some ECC swimming highlights.
Woo! So there you have it, folks. There's a halftime. You don't want to go anywhere at halftime because you're going to get all that. And not 1 pound, not 2 pounds, but 3 pounds of pasta and a little jar of sauce, otherwise known as Peter Wappy coming in for the little jar of sauce. So I will let you know right now that a little teaser that the pounds of pasta will focus around tradition, playoffs, and food.
Ooh, they all fit. They all fit in one bowl of pasta. Listen, I haven't eaten all day.
I'd like some fusilli with tradition sauce, please.
I've been working out with these beautiful children out there and their families. Today was exciting, and so it'll be great for halftime.
3rd and 12. Philistine to throw. Flag on the play. Deep ball over the middle. Has his man. Macho. Oh, yeah. First down to the 20-yard line for the Whalers.
And his little Slim Jim caught that ball. He took off.
But I think this is all coming back because I see Whalers protesting. Bernadue's got his hands up. It is against the Whalers.
That's so tough. That's so tough. It always hurts the Whalers when you have a great play like that and a call.
Burris is throwing his hands up going, but I made the catch. It's a great throw from Philistine, too. So the flag is against New London, and it's going to back them up, and it's going to make it 3rd and very long. It's going to be 3rd and 20. And they went from having great field position and being, in the chartreuse zone.
Yeah.
Now they're back to 3rd and 20. They wouldn't have been in the magenta zone. They still would have been in the crushed brick zone.
Crushed brick zone, yeah. 3rd
3rd and 20. Let's see what the Whalers do here. Philistine's going to throw. Has time. Has time. Now he's pressured. And he's sacked by Reef all the way back at the 10-yard line. XR Julius in there as well. But a huge loss. And it's going to bring up 4th. Carry the 2.
+9.
Hold on. I need an abacus.
It's a long one. It's long.
Well, the line of scrimmage is back where the old zoo used to be.
Yeah, right where actually Rocky would be doing the slide and then throwing the banana at the people.
Well, it wasn't a banana, and he'd be throwing it right now as far as this 4th down is.
And he doesn't have a water pick, mind you.
He does not. Rocky did not have a water pick. I'd like to see Rocky with a water pick. I bet you he would have used.
He would have loved it. He probably sit back there looking at us like, if anybody got any more bananas, let me know.
High snap, but it's held well. Off the side of the foot for Irizarry. He's going to need a bounce, and it's going to go out of bounds at the 32-yard line. So Killingly, with 2:52 remaining, is going to be in great shape here. Up a score and in Whalers territory.
Casey, was that a Trivetta punt?
That was a Trivetta punt, yes. It was a Trivetta punt, and it was, in fact, no volley. There was no volley, though. And I will say, for those of you that haven't seen it yet, you definitely want to watch the Grade 8 at halftime, because I would say that the soccer plays in the Grade 8 this week were probably as wide a variety of skills as you're going to see in high school. A lot of different skill sets on display. Wide toss to Reef. Breaks a tackle. Heads to the outside. Dangerous. Muscling. Soren Reef is a beast, and he's got Killingly 1st and goal.
This is the thing that Killingly has to do right now is that drive and punch it in, cause New London to really break down within their infrastructure. You know, the toughest thing about the Whalers is their skills, but the best way to beat them is to have them all in their sidelines really confused and trying to find a way to come back.
1st and goal. Ball on the 1, 2:30 and ticking. Want to bet where this one's going?
Soren Reef. Big 3-4.
Handoff. Reef. Churning. Touchdown, Killingly. He's more reliable than the U.S. Mail. The postman, Soren Reef, delivers every time, and he's got Killingly up 2 scores. It's 20-7.
You know what? This would be a bet, but I don't want you to get sick. We have these delicious cookies made by Mrs. Reef, am I correct? Okay. And if Casey was to eat a cookie every time Soren Reef carried the ball, he would not be able to finish the game. So
My
please.
diabetes would be.
Yeah. In type 2 diabetes. The Quaker Oat man would put you to sleep.
That's a good cookie, though.
High snap. Kick is through. Kick is true. Logi's got Killingly up 21-7 with 2:18 remaining. Can the Whalers punch it in before halftime? We'll find out. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Being part of a great community is so important. People helping and supporting others can be very uplifting and contagious. At Philomena's Restaurant, that's exactly what you get. It's the community hub for not just Waterford, but all of southeastern Connecticut. Birthday parties, anniversary dinners, weddings, sports banquets, a drink with friends, and of course, charity events. Philomena's has been, is, and will always be there for the community. Celebrate and support southeastern Connecticut at Philomena's. Philomena's, Utopia Plaza in Waterford.
2:18 remaining in the half. Killingly will kick it off, having gone up 2 scores. They've scored each of the last 2 times they've had the football. New London's going to look for something here on the 2-minute drill to see if they can score before halftime.
Taking off for Killingly, number 6, Cooper Logie.
Killingly waiting to break the huddle.
Number 10, Tyree Barnes. Number 4, Caden Simon Gaskin.
Logie will kick. Gaskin, one of 2 deep men. This one goes to Gaskin at the 20-yard line. KK heads straight upfield and wrestled down at the 35-yard line where New London will have it. 1st and 10 with just over 2 minutes, 2:12 remaining in the half.
Brought down by number 32.
What can the Whalers do right now, brother, that would kind of just change that flavor with the momentum that right now Killingly's holding?
So here's what I gotta say. I would say that they need to throw the football, but they gotta be careful because if they go 3 and out, Killingly's got a chance to come down. There's plenty of time.
I would love to see the time frame of both offenses. I'm probably definitely going to see that Killingly probably doubled it up.
I'd like to see them throw the ball deep like they did to Burris earlier. Deep in route. Safeties are up. Fletcher's in the backfield. Philistine on first down. I think that's a broken play. Philistine's going to keep it himself. Heads to the outside. Has a nice hole and nice room out there. And he has a first down. I think that was a broken play.
Definitely. Well, the good thing was he was smart enough to take it and work it to the side of the field that had the lesser players. Obviously, they're playing 4 deep right now. Seems like it is, safeties are playing a little bit tough, but they're still 4 deep coverage here. So you're going to have those flats available. You're going to have probably the middle hook if they're bringing that backer inside. They just got to find the routes that would really fit those spots and make some plays here.
Trips right for the Whalers. Gaskin, Roberts, and Burris. Philistine fakes the handoff. Little screen. Out it goes to the Macho Man. Breaks a tackle. And Macho Burris will have 6 on first down. It'll be 2nd and 4.
This is where New London has to pick up the tempo, get on the line, and wait for the next call there.
1:20 remaining. What New London has succeeded in doing, though, effectively is take a Killingly possession out of the mix by moving the ball forward and eating some time. So New London should be looking at this now like, how do we get it, chance in the end zone? First down, Philistine over the middle, has a man, and it's incomplete. That was right on the hands of Darren Roberts.
Wide open and a perfect ball and a perfect route. That zone was wide open there. He had to catch it.
Third down, 1:07 remaining. Can't fault Philistine that time. He put it right on the mark. We mentioned earlier his ball had been sailing a little bit high. Not that time. Tyree Barnes along with Jaden Montez. KK Gaskin and Macho Burris. You're 4 wide for the Whalers, 2 on each side. Philistine to throw. Into the flat it goes, complete, and out of bounds goes Barnes. He'll have a first down and gets out of bounds with 1:02 remaining.
With the way Killingly playing the forward, high defense right now, I mean, those outs are going to be effective. Keep on chipping away. It'll stop the clock. Keep on working down the line that way until the corners play up, and then you can work a little bit of a deep ball threat. They're doing fine so far, looking confident when they're making these plays.
Philistine to throw. Plenty of time. Over the middle. Has his man. That's Barnes. Right near the first down marker at the 30-yard line. I think he's got enough for a first, so the clock will stop with 55 seconds for them to move the chains. Whalers are going to hustle and line it up. Clock now running with 54 seconds remaining. Plenty of time. Don't want to make a mistake. Killingly still sitting in its zone. Philistine throws to the sideline, and it's complete and out of bounds. And incomplete. That ball hit the ground. He was looking for Gaskin. Clock stops with 42 seconds.
The linebackers now are dropping back a little bit more just to help underneath there to stop those plays down the middle.
So 2nd and 10, which is really irrelevant as far as the downs go. They got 3 more cracks at it. 4 receivers. Philistine with Fletcher next to him, going to throw again. Plenty of time. Deep drop over the middle, complete to Barnes. Barnes struggling, can't break a tackle, and I think New London's going to have to take a timeout. And they do right on cue with 32 seconds remaining. It's going to be 3rd and 2 when we come back. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. After the game, follow Game Day CT on social media to see our pick for the Scient Federal Credit Union top play. Pave the way for your students' financial success with a MySci account from Scient Federal Credit Union. Open a high-yield MySci savings account today and help support a positive financial future for your student. Visit scientfcu.org to learn more. Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe. 32 seconds remaining. 3rd and 2 for New London as they're going to try to get one in here before halftime as they trail Killingly 21-7. Casey O'Neill along with Pasta Santabria, 2 former Whalers, doing our best to give Killingly all the respect they deserve while still maintaining some Whaler love. And speaking of love, none shown to Philistine as he loses the ball. They're going to say it was loose, and if that's the case, Killingly's going to have it, and the officials say they do.
Wow. Should have just held on to the ball. But right there, he was just trying to make a play. Bless his heart.
Talking it over with the officials.
Thinking probably in the grasp.
If he's in the grasp, then it's a 4th and long.
Yeah.
But they never blew the whistle. Killingly's clapping. They think they have it.
And the referee does say that it's gonna be Killingly's ball.
Glenn
is not happy about that one.
19 seconds and a half. Killingly's not only held, but they'll get the ball back. And you can expect at least one toss here to Reef before the half.
Biggest thing right now is, will Killingly kneel on the ball or find a way to
I think
go for it?
I think they'll give it to Reef one time. One time, and then he gets what he gets, and then the clock ends. That's my guess. 19 seconds, ball at the 40-yard line of Killingly. Wide toss right to Reef. Stiff arms to Sources on the outside. Gains 5, and the clock runs with 10 seconds remaining. Flag on the play. Clock under 10 seconds.
Timeout on the field. Timeout, Killingly.
Looks like Killingly is going to take a timeout. We'll keep it here. The penalty goes against Killingly, backs them all the way up to the 30-yard line. So I think that, for all intents and purposes, will end the first half. I think Killingly will be content to shut this one down now. We'll be curious. I don't even think they're going to snap the football. Under 5 seconds remaining. They will not. So we are at halftime here at Canamella Field. New London High School trails Killingly 21-7. You're going to come on back after some messages, and you're going to want to see the interviews with Soren Reef and Macho Burris, the grade 8, some swimming highlights, and then 3 pounds of pasta, all coming up. You're watching Game Day Live on theday.com.
Being part of a great community is so important. People helping and supporting others can be very uplifting and contagious. At Philomena's Restaurant, that's exactly what you get. It's the community hub for not just Waterford, but all of southeastern Connecticut. Birthday parties, anniversary dinners, weddings, sports banquets, a drink with friends, and of course, charity events. Philomena's has been, is, and will always be there for the community. Celebrate and support southeastern Connecticut at Philomena's. Philomena's, Utopia Plaza in Waterford.
We did a closed ballot voting for the first 2 captains, and Caleb and Macho were the first 2 by a good margin. And I always do the first 2 at the end of the end of the school year, because I want to know who the players thought led the offseason.
It meant a lot to me. I didn't really think that I would be voted captain. I didn't really know who they would vote. I was really thinking they would vote someone else. Seeing that I'm captain, it shows that they trust me, and as a player, as a teammate.
Macho was dealing with a groin injury that was from last year, and so he was rehabbing while also leading his teammates, and didn't miss a day.
Who's left? Who's left?
It was difficult, I'm not gonna lie. The pain was bad. I tore my groin last season at Joel Barlow, and I tried to play through it that whole season. It was like I was on and off, I couldn't. And then it healed wrong, so that made it even worse. But I had physical therapy. Coach Sanchez helped me out a lot. I came to every workout because I feel like I need to be here as a leader. I just felt like I need to go. Every day, I'm always checking on every teammate, see if they're good. If a teammate has a bad day, some teammates even come and text me, and we talk it out, you know. You always want to go to the field 100%. You never want to go down and have a sad player. You always want to be there 100%.
One way.
I think that the combination of that, the fact that he was accountable, he was driving us in the off season, and then, you could physically see, visibly see his improvement over the months. And then all of a sudden his teammates were probably like, oh man, he's really turning into a player. And then when you have a guy that exemplifies that, it just became obvious.
Do you want to be called Macho or Derek?
Macho.
Where did that come from?
When I was a baby, I was like kind of fat. I'm not even gonna lie, I was fat. And then my mom just gave me the name Macho, and it stuck ever since.
I didn't know I could come here. Me being from Griswold, I always knew, like, okay, I could go to a tech school. And then a couple of the guidance counselors that came down and gave it to, when I was in 8th grade, they talked to my whole grade, and they were like, oh, well, you guys can come to Killingly through the agriculture program. So I told my parents, and then the next week we came and checked out a semifinal game at Waterford. And then after that, I knew that I wanted to be a part of this school.
Touchdown, Jack Sharp!
There's quite a bit of requirements for our ag students. You got to have something you're interested in studying. It may not be for a career, but it may be a skill you develop or something that it's going to be more hands-on and you can use for the future.
People think of ag, they just think of farming, but there's really so much more to it. I'm in mechanics, so I get to, class, we go to the farm, we just ride around the tractors, we fix stuff. It's really cool.
The other thing is you have to do an SAE project, which is supervised agricultural experience. And that could range from a number of things, from running your own small business to working on a farm to volunteering.
And on cue, there goes Soren Reef.
Obviously, that was a tough loss. Obviously, you don't want to end the season on a loss, and North Haven was just a great football team, especially that day. But that's one thing you end on. That's your last memory is leaving Rensselaer Field with a loss, and
that's been my motivation since that day. Just what fuels me through my workouts, and it sucks losing, and that's the goal each year is to make it to the state championship game, and to lose like that, it just doesn't sit well.
We had other leaders those other years. This year, he's that guy. He's the returning captain, and he's taking it upon himself to be more of a vocal leader and making sure things get done the right way. And we talk a lot. We talked about it yesterday in practice. We have a certain standard we expect around here, from how the sideline looks at practice to the little things we do. And it's up to guys like that to hold each other accountable, and he's done that.
Touchdown, Soren Reef! It's time for Game Day's Grade 8 Plays of the Week. Westbrook girls soccer taking on Terryville in the state tournament. Kayla Priestley with the free kick, and Lily Freeman with the header for the goal. Wyndham boys soccer versus Ellis Tech. Emiliano Gutierrez. Look at the chip, the croqueta, the Travella cross. Jaden Gomez with the volley. What a goal for the Whips. Thames Rivers, Brevin Gonzalez. From Cougars to Crusaders, the bomb to Xavier Jackson, and then get away. 70-yard touchdown, 23-zip. NFA football. Looks like Bacon Academy is going in the end zone. Ball pops loose, and Wyatt Woodcock sees nothing but daylight. 97 yards, all the way to the house. NFA touchdown. Mercy versus Sacred Heart in the SCC semifinal, tied at 0 in overtime. Kaylee Benson, oh, Mercy, the golden goal. At number 3, 4th and goal. Time's expiring. Can Stonington get in for the win against Griswold? Joshua Turner says, no, you don't. Keeps the season alive for the Wolverines. Sometimes you just need one name. Adonis. Save that PK right there. Fired up. You know what? Adonis ain't done. How about one more time? Go to the right. Oh! Santiago saves it, and Montville wins the Division II championship. But at number 1, NFA girls soccer versus Fairfield Ward. Look at Ava Boning of the Wildcats make the save. 1 of 3 in PKs, and well, she must be getting the ball, right? But the goalie's gonna take a PK after saving a PK? Well, I mean, this can't go well for Bonig. I mean, she's a keeper. What does she know about oh, the goal. NFA wins. Hey, those are your grade 8. Send us your clips. Maybe you'll make next week's Grade 8.
ECC seniors bringing some Halloween spirit to the conference championship meet at East Lyme High School Saturday. And the big question in the air, would East Lyme win their 23rd straight ECC title, or would someone finally knock off the Vikings? If somebody was going to do it, it would be the Fitch Co-op. And the Falcons looked strong, winning the first two events decisively, with Anna Orfanides anchoring the 200 medley relay, and Sofia Pacheco taking the 200 freestyle by a margin of almost 3 seconds. In the 50-yard freestyle, Orfanides out-touched East Lyme's Ella Pape by just 0.17 of a second. Then in the 100-yard butterfly, two Falcons battling for first place, and it's Elliot Singer beating Orfanides by 0.21 of a second. Closest race of the afternoon, though, would be the 100-yard freestyle. Fitch's Jaylyn Wheeler looks to have a slight lead with half a length remaining. But look at the closing speed on East Lyme's Pape. She takes the race by a margin of just 0.09 of a second. One more extremely close finish between the Falcons and the Vikings in the 200 freestyle relay. Ruby Toms, after finishing second to Pacheco in the 500 free, comes in just ahead of Pacheco in the relay's anchor leg. The Vikings and their fans are feeling it. The Falcons keep racking up individual wins, with Caitlin Kumpf taking the 100 backstroke and Laura Letelier finishing way ahead of everyone else in the 100-yard breaststroke. In all, Fitch took 8 out of 12 events, with Orfanides being named swimmer of the meet. But the depth of East Lyme was too much for the Falcons to overcome. The Vikings win their 23rd straight ECC championship with 564 points to Fitch's 535. The Vikings get to take part in the time-honored tradition of posing with the championship banner and then taking a celebratory dip in the pool with their coaches.
Here comes Salas Montalvo with a shot, and a goal! Luis Salas Montalvo curls it past Regan. Post, back of the net, 1-0 Wolves. There it goes. Head ball loose, and a goal! We're tied at 1! Alex Grohl on the rebound. 9 seconds remaining. DeLucia puts it back on the frame. He's got his man, and the whistle. He had Cowan, but he was offsides, and that ends the second overtime. Santiago is guessed right twice, but he's 0 for 2. Here comes Grohl, and Adonis Santiago makes the save. Regan, ready, Cowan, savvy, Luke Brannigan, and he bangs it past Santiago. Oh, beautiful goal. Aaron Gould. Sawcheck approaches and scores. And at the end of 5 PKs, it is 4-4. PK 1. Goal. Maddenbrow. Howes versus Santiago. Save Santiago! Oh, Adonis! Jack Bowman, whose name we did not say in regulation. Bowman approaches and scores. Hey, nothing to it. The Saints desperately need this one to go. And very calm, Aiden Cass, 2 and 3, approaches and scores. Cornelius up, and what a shot by Cornelius. Keenan approaches and rips it past Regan. Powers needs to keep the Saints alive. Approaches, and he sails it high! Montville wins! Howl, Wolves, howl!
I played for Wally way back in the day. I don't want to date myself, but certainly a big-time coach.
Dangerous ball in front, and there's the first goal of the game. Pumping it in, Luke Sallin. Stoddard turns with the right foot, and 3 Wildcats. Stoddard keeps it on his foot, still pushing. And instead, it's buried by Asso. Oh, so good, Brendan.
You know, to create those opportunities in that space left behind with that big gap.
Running on, and there's a goal! Finian Gates. Headed out, Montejano will put it right back in, pops it down as he heads to the corner and makes a nice cut. In front, loose, churning, legs, who's gonna get their foot on it? Stoddard, goal! Robert Stoddard stuns NFA 4-0 Vikings.
Next week.
Nice ball, Johnson punches it out. And East Lyme will try to clear. NFA still has it. Shot up and is it in? It's a goal for the Wildcats. Lionetti breaks his man down, puts it back into the middle. Nice flick, nice touch. One more shot off the post. Stoddard with a rebound and a save, Hawkins. 6 minutes and counting here. Throw in for NFA. And they score off the throw. Logan Jenkins.
I'm, seconds away from winning this match. A credit to NFA. They earned their way here.
One last chance. And a goal! Hard to believe. And the scoreboard hits 0. The East Lyme Vikings are your Division I champions of the ECC. 21-7. Killingly on top at halftime. It's time for 3 pounds of pasta. This is where I get to ask the coach 3 questions related to, well, whatever I feel like they should be related to today. So we're going to start. I'm going to give you a choice.
You got it, brother.
Food, playoffs, or tradition.
Okay, the choice. Food, playoffs, or tradition. I'm going to foods first.
All right, food.
Yep.
What, and this is going to, Peter Wappy's going to have to come in on this one because Peter's got a unique ethnic background as well.
Of course.
His heritage, his cultural background is unique. So what food is most important to you as far as maintaining a family or cultural tradition?
Oh, well, the simpler the better. And I've always thought that, to me, being a Hispanic descent, the rice is the foundation. So like a rice with a combination of chicken, a rice combination with beef, make it all kind of like one family thing, because then everybody can incorporate their ideas. You can assign people to things in that situation where the mother kind of runs the whole program but delegates like an offensive coordinator. I was the kind of guy that always had to rinse the rice. My brothers were lucky to season the meat, So in a sense, I do love that. But when you go to Italian food, it's nothing better than a bowl of spaghetti. It's simple. It's great to me. So I would go.
Is there a bowl of spaghetti tradition in your family someplace?
In some way, there's a Spanish version of it. It's just a little bit more adobo and a little bit more food meat in it. But there is, to me, the Spanish food has been the thing. The only thing is I can't eat it too much nowadays because of my health. But a great meal of pulled pork with rice and pigeon peas and some fried plantains can, put the bill in there. Yeah.
All right, Peter, how about yourself?
So you're alluding to my Finnish heritage.
I am.
and I don't know that we currently have a real family cultural tradition. If I had one, maybe it was with my parents and grandparents. I can remember as a kid driving up with my dad to Worcester, Mass, to the Scandinavian bakery, and we would buy pula bread, which is a braided sweet bread topped with sugar, spiced with cardamom.
That opened my nostrils. Did you feel that essence?
There's a Scandinavian shop over in the Old Mystic Village where you can get
Bestamores?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to swing by.
Norwegian for grandmother.
Really?
Yeah.
They sell pula bread there.
That's outstanding. I got my shoes there. closest thing to clogs that I have.
Make sure you get your Pula bread and shoes.
So if there's a maybe there's a beverage heritage now that my brother brought over and introduced to us. My brother spent some time living and playing lacrosse in Finland and introduced us to long drink, which is a gin and grapefruit cocktail. We went to Finland, and like most bars you go to, they have like 3 draft handles. They have a beer, they have a cider, and they have a long drink.
Ooh, I like
look
those.
at that.
So I would say, as far as Norway had the best beer that I ever liked at Epcot. They had Ringnes, which was a Norwegian beer you couldn't get in the United States. I loved it. But for me, Pignoli cookies at Christmas time is something that I used to have to wait in line forever to get Pignoli cookies at Christmas. Lasagna on Christmas Day. Those are the two that stand out for me. All right, let's go to the high school playoffs. I'm going to make this simple. Rather than debate all of it, I'm going to ask you simply, what is the correct number of teams and correct number of divisions for the Connecticut postseason in football?
I believe that with the division that we have, SSS, MMM, LLL.
So you like 6?
That's 6.
But I'm asking you, what's the correct number? Is 6 the right number of divisions?
I believe 6 is the right number of divisions. With they have the 8 in there, but I would prefer probably the top 4.
4. So you would like 6 divisions, top 4.
6 divisions, top 4, or go with the big 3, and let the 8 play in there. Give the chance for a qualitative playoff where it could be recognized. We're a small state. We were just talking about it earlier. If this was California and the divisions that they have here and the number of teams that can make it to the playoffs, I could respect that. But teams that are 6-4, 7-3, they should be off the bubble.
I believe that the top 2 was what we were used to. I am okay with 4, but more than 4 feels like an awful lot.
Yeah.
And certainly the more is not always necessarily the merrier.
No.
Peter, what's the right number for Connecticut?
So you guys have more history here than I do, and I thought the 4 divisions with 8 teams kind of made sense, but I'd be interested to know, has a team with a seed lower than 4 ever won a title? Because if the answer is no, then just do a Final Four.
Right.
I'd be willing to bet the answer is yes, because you are going to get you're going to get a 5, 6, or 7, like a Cheshire or a Greenwich that dropped in, but that was easily the best team in their class, whose losses you're going to get like a double M champion who lost to 2 double L schools.
Exactly.
And that's what you're going to get. But I think I think 4 feels right. All right, last one. Peter and Pasta will ask you this one together. Thanksgiving football.
Yeah.
Is it a necessary high school tradition, or 100 years from now will we be looking back and going, oh, yeah, I remember when they played football on Thanksgiving?
I think Thanksgiving is special. It brings the whole community. It kind of shuts down the town. It gives it its own essence. It's, to me, a precursor to a bowl game, and it always gives the underdog an opportunity to finish off strong. You could win a Thanksgiving football game. It could change your whole dynamics of your season.
Peter?
It's a tradition that I like an awful lot. I think that it is destined to be gone. It is not going to last, and once it's gone, it will only have mattered to a small number of people, unfortunately.
I think that, you know what, that was so well said, and it represents my thoughts so well that I'm going to leave it there, other than to say I think that traditions go back hundreds and hundreds of years, and 100 years from now, there will be all new traditions.
It'll be all new.
Second half, New London, down 2 scores, going to kick it off. And I would suggest that a stop on this first possession is vital for the Whalers. Kick comes down to Gabriel Torrente, and he gets it back to the 30-yard line. So the first part, good coverage on the kick for the Whalers in place. Now the defense needs a hold, because I don't really think you can get down 3 scores to Killingly, because I don't think you could stop Killingly enough to come back from a 3 scores.
Well, let's give credit to New London what they did. For the time that they were out there defensively playing and holding this team to 21 points off of a critical, obviously, fumble from their offense, I think they did a phenomenal job. The biggest thing right now is to continue to be consistent, making the right calls at the right time.
You know Killingly is going to come out with some second half adjustments. Coach, whistle on first down. Coach Neal is absolutely one of the best. He and his staff were going to get an offsides against New London, so 5 yards on first down without snapping the football.
Where did the snap?
Go back to discipline. Again, you know, these teams that have been out here successful have learned how to manage their discipline throughout for 4 quarters. To start off that way, that's pretty tough for the Whalers.
1st and 5. Handoff, Reef. Big hole. Speed down the sideline. It's a foot race. Chased down and shoved out of bounds by Parks. But a big gain for Soren Reef has Killingly just outside the 20.
They sealed that edge off, and they got to the outside real quick right there. Soren, a phenomenal job. What an athlete, you know. But this time he got chased down, though. He got chased down pretty good.
Give Kyle Parks,
yes,
the 6 foot, 200-pound defensive end,
chased him down.
Credit for chasing down Reef. Barnes had the angle, and I think would have, but Barnes is undersized compared to Reef.
Right.
That would have been a tough tackle. Credit Parks for not giving up. But Killingly, big play, 1st down. Little off-tackle trap on 1st down to Reef. He'll gain 5, and he gets it up to the 20-yard line. So Killingly officially in the red zone here on 2nd down.
Gain of 5, 2nd down and 5.
Second and 5. Killingly taking the opening kickoff and marching right downfield against the Whalers. Sumner under center. Again, gives it to Reef off the left tackle. Reef has a 1st down and dragging Whalers inside the 10-yard line. Soren Reef starting to take over here to start the 2nd half.
Let me tell you, that big 66 Devin Exel-Harrius, he went around and wrapped, and instead of, you know, fighting the defender inside out, he knew the defender was going to squeeze in, so what does he do? He just pinches him in, seals him up. Running back feels that body, and he goes right to the outside. Great blocking scheme that they have over here, and what a way to adjust. The lineman has to adjust on the flow of the play. Great job by that offensive line.
The XR Julius twins are as good as they get. 3 years, we've been saying their names blocking here at Killingly. Wide toss, Reef cuts it inside, and brilliant tackle on the edge made by the Whalers. Coming up and losing his helmet was Parks, but he gets credit for the big hit and the tackle and no gain.
On the tackle.
He's got to come out for a play.
No gain on the play, 2nd down and 10.
It seems like Killingly is just playing a good, calm demeanor. Looks like it's going to be ball control throughout this series here. Getting the calls and then just lining up and making it happen.
2nd and 10. End around it goes to Lamott. Lamott cuts it back inside. Still on his feet into the end zone. Touchdown, Aiden Lamott. The sophomore scores, and Killingly up 27-7.
Oh, that's a pretty good drive for Killingly there.
Hayden Allard, Hunter Allard, Aiden Lamott, 3 sophomores. They're what's next when Soren Reef is gone. Snap, kick, through, and true. And with, it's wide. It's untrue. It's a lie. The kick is a lie. And with 10:21 remaining, 27-7, Killingly on top. We'll be right back. You're watching Game Day Live on theday.com.
Being part of a great community is so important. People helping and supporting others can be very uplifting and contagious. At Philomena's Restaurant, that's exactly what you get. It's the community hub for not just Waterford, but all of southeastern Connecticut. Birthday parties, anniversary dinners, weddings, sports banquets, a drink with friends, and of course, charity events. Philomena's has been, is, and will always be there for the community. Celebrate and support southeastern Connecticut at Philomena's. Philomena's, Utopia Plaza in Waterford.
Game Day is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health. All that's good begins with a smile. At Waterford Dental Health, well, they've got solutions for all your dental needs. When you visit their office, their entire team is dedicated to providing you the personalized dental care that you deserve. They want to make that smile the best it can be. Go to waterforddentalhealth.com and get more information. Killingly 27-7 over New London. The game's starting to creep away from the Whalers a little bit. And this is where Coach Bobby Sanchez has talked all year long about resiliency and how will you sort of respond to challenges. We're going to take a look at their schedule and how they've responded to challenges in a moment after the kickoff here from Killingly. It's up. It's going to come down to Gaskin at the 15-yard line. Gaskin outside, breaks tackle, and gets to about the 30. If you look at New London, they started off the year with a win over Stratford. Not a very good team, and then we had them the next week, and they really did not look in sync. And though the score, 34-21, really not indicative of how they played. Then came the most curious loss, a 24-20 loss to E.O. Smith, which I think was really surprising to them. They get a break with not a very good Weaver team the next week, and they beat them. But then they come right back and they lose that heartbreaker on the last-second pass in the corner for East Lyme. Philistine on first down, hands it straight up the middle, gain not there, ball loose. Killingly says they has it. It's still a scrum. Soren Reef says he got it. XR Julia says they got it. What does the official say?
Well, the referee on the opposite side is pointing down, which means that he said the ball was in the ground, so
it'll stay Whaler ball.
It'll stay Whaler ball.
So New London starts out 2-3.
Yep.
And what do? They respond with 24-7 over Woodstock Academy, 49-0 over Bassick, and then their signature win, 27-12 over Wyndham.
Yeah.
So, they had a chance to pack it in earlier this year at 2-3, and they rattled off 3 in a row. This would be a tough loss, but it would give them a chance at 5-4 to go into NFA or at home against NFA on Thanksgiving in the oldest high school football rivalry to finish the year at 6-4. Little inside shuttle pass. Heading to the outside is Barnes. Barnes crosses the 50 and has a first down. Tyree Barnes, the playmaker for the Whalers. That's a nifty play, and Whalers are in business.
And one thing I like about New London's season this year is that the coach, they're starting to like him. They really enjoy what he's trying to do to the program, and they're buying in. As opposed to just saying, okay, here's a coach here that are just bringing some kind of tradition out here, and they don't believe in it. So week in, week out, I've talked to a couple of coaches there that were really supportive of the program. New London's trying.
Same play, this time to Fletcher. And Fletcher puts the ball on the turf, but they're going to say he was down after a gain of 5. So 2nd and we'll call it 6. 6.5.
On that run, 2nd down and 7.
The biggest thing New London right now could be successful is just keep this ball on their side in regards to holding on to it and making plays.
Philistine, Killingly showing blitz, low snap. Philistine falls on it right at midfield.
Fumble on the snap.
And if I'm not mistaken, I'm looking out there. We had said that Javon Ford, number 50, who was the backup center and had moved to center, was out of the game. And I'm looking for him, and I don't see him. I think he is out of the game, which means New London's got a 3rd-string center in the game.
Well, before the half, I noticed that he was trying to recover the ball. And when he was trying to recover the ball, a player fell on his shoulder. He did grab his shoulder before going into halftime, so it's sad news about hearing that.
52 is the new center.
So 52 on our roster is Christian Delacruz, who was the starting center but was out hurt. So he's playing injured right now, if that's the case. We're setting up a screen to Fletcher. Well defended, and look at the pursuit
What a great hustle.
from behind by Anthony Oates. And that renders it nothing. 4th down, Whalers.
Down by number 14.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm enjoying here as far as a defensive mindset is the delayed blitzes that are coming in just before the cadence is called, causing the center to disrupt on his snap. Also, the blocking scheme changes because of the blitz. So, yeah, they're doing a pretty good job keeping the Whaler offense in cahoots.
New London takes a timeout. 7:22 remaining. They're down 27-7. We'll be right back. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Well, as we head into a brand new season on Game Day, we want something brand new to come to all of you as well. Game Day launching its merchandise store for the first time. Now, as you know, greatness has no off-season, and Game Day has no off-season either. We're always working to provide you the best we can do, and that includes great merch. So come on into the merchandise store for Game Day. As the season progresses, who knows who's going to say what that'll make it onto the next Game Day t-shirt. Find out in the merch store. Well, there he is, the starting center for today, Javon Ford. He's not in the game right now, and we have number 52, which on our roster is Christian Delacruz, who was the starting center but was out. So New London playing injured at the center position regardless of what player is in there.
Yeah.
And that is never easy when you're down 3 scores, and even harder when you're facing a 4th and 12.
Yeah.
Fourth and 12 with 7:22 remaining. Fletcher is in the backfield.
They bring some speedy outside linebackers to rush. Oh, they're sending the house.
Philistine pressure, throws over the middle, and it is incomplete. In and out of the hands of Gaskin. He would have been short of the first down had he made the catch, but instead, turnover on downs. Killingly will have it in great field position right at midfield.
Yeah, 6-man blitz on that play. It was a great call. They brought everybody to the gap, have Reef on the outside edge, and they were just mismatched. Quarterback had to get rid of the ball a little bit too early there, caused some, timing with the pass.
Gaskin very disappointed in himself. KK very sure-handed normally, but that would have been he would have been stopped short. He was about 5 yards short of the first down. Anyway, Killingly has it on first down. They're going to go right back to Reef. And this is where it'll be interesting, the defensive coordinator and defensive coaches of New London.
Yep.
Because this is where Killingly grinds on you.
Yeah.
And this is where they take your spirit from you. They're going to just keep pounding you and pounding you and pounding you. You're going to see 30 more carries from Soren Reef. You have to stay disciplined. You have to stay, aggressive, and it's so hard to do.
Biggest thing that we would do, this is something you can't really adjust at halftime. You only could do 1 or 2 things, but when you're watching film, if there's certain sets Soren Reef has, that's where you could put automatic blitz calls in there, and seems like New London is working on something like that.
Toss to Reef.
Oh, good
Gets a
opportunity.
nice block, but shedding and making a great tackle on the edge is Tyree Barnes, and I have to give Barnes a lot of credit there. It looked like Reef was going to have the outside. Barnes fought off his blocker.
Yeah. Well, if you're tentative in tackling, Soren Reef knows that forearm is going to come right into your face. You got to tackle through the forearm into the body to make Soren Reef, kind of just slow down. And right there, that's what he did, right through the numbers. As the old saying was, you want to hit the guy through the ribs and make his ribs touch the back of his ribs. If that mindset is just kind of the flowetry of tackling. You want to go through the body and make that tackle for big guys.
3rd and 2, and Reef, first down and more, crosses the 35-yard line to the 33.
It's the great Tommy Majors would say.
Train's coming.
The train is coming.
It's not Waterford County.
Yeah,
It's not Groton County.
No.
It's not East Lyme County.
No, sir.
It's New London County.
It's New London County.
Oh, man, how many
and
times?
He would do that strut and shake, and everybody in the sidelines would be all pumped up with that energy. Coach Majors.
Well, you guys had on the staff at one time, Timmy Reardon, Jack Cochran, Juan Roman,
an all-star cast.
Tommy Major,
Reggie Wheeler,
Kent Reyes. I mean, you guys had
we had Tim Reardon.
Reef with another big hole on first down. He'll have about 7.
Papa Nana, Uncle Joe, Louis.
I mean, you got NFL players, professional players,
college
Division
players.
I college players, All-American players. I mean, that cast was. You're not going to get a better talent group.
That 89 team, I give credit to Coach Bunacore for being flexible and allowing all those coaches to bring their ideals in. It was still a Whaler mentality, but great, plays that we added into the scheme that helped us out.
Technically, the 1990 team.
1990.
It's 89, but it's
Am I still? That wasn't the crossover right there.
Yeah, 89 is a heartbreak loss to Ansonia. 90 is a win over Stratford. As Reef has the first down, crosses the 20, still on his feet, moving the pile. Strong, Soren Reef.
I think it was 87 and 88 were the 2 ones with Ansonia. And then 89, we ended up sneaking the win. And then 90 was the Troy era, right? But how does the season go with football?
Because you're right. But I graduated in 1989.
That's right. You're
and
90s.
the state championship is technically in December of 1989. But it's the 89-90 season.
Right.
So for me, when I hear 89, I'm like, no, that was my senior year.
Yep.
Jamal, Jason Appleby, Todd Euchel, we lose
that
in
was
the
over
finals
at Veterans
to
Stadium. Yeah.
Whalers do a much better job on first down, hitting the holes, and Reef gains 2, second and long.
Looks like Ford's playing right now. He's jumping in more defensively, but he looks pretty good. Still holding his shoulder. Poor young man battling through. A lot of resilience, but sometimes, when you're hurt, you're hurt. You got to be checked.
We have an injured player on the field, so we'll take a timeout. You're watching Game Day live on day.com. Fall is here, which means it's time for Game Day's Great 8. The best 8 plays of the week submitted by you, the viewers, on any of our social media platforms. You send us the best videos from practice or the game, any sport in the fall, and we might see about putting it on the Great 8 of the week.
Being part of a great community is so important. People helping and supporting others can be very uplifting and contagious. At Philomena's Restaurant, that's exactly what you get. It's the community hub for not just Waterford, but all of southeastern Connecticut. Birthday parties, anniversary dinners, weddings, sports banquets, a drink with friends, and of course, charity events. Philomena's has been, is, and will always be there for the community. Celebrate and support southeastern Connecticut at Philomena's. Philomena's, Utopia Plaza in Waterford.
27-7 Killingly. They're in the red zone and driving. It's second down and long. Injured Whaler coming off the field of his own accord, so the Whalers will get back out there on defense here on second down. 56. That is 56, the injured Whaler. So second down and 7. Sumner, the quiet sophomore, and we're going to talk a little bit about, once Killingly, I equated Killingly now to New London in the 80s and 90s, meaning they're a program now. You don't ever have to ask, how are they going to be good next year?
No.
The question is just going to be, how are they refueling?
Right.
And we're going to talk a little bit about that in a moment. But there's the guy, Soren Reef, the man, and he's got him up to a third and short. So how do you replace a Soren Reef? Well, if you look at the roster, you've got a bunch of offensive linemen leaving as well. I mean, there's going to be a lot to replace. But one thing that Coach Neal has done brilliantly, there was a time when Soren Reef was a sophomore,
right,
or a freshman, and Jack Sharp was the running back. And there was a time before that where, guys that we called were seniors, and there was always someone behind them. He always had a senior, and he always had a sophomore running it at the same time. And there are, if you look, all the people we've called, other than Reef tonight, from a skill position, are all sophomores.
Yeah.
Yep. Sumner hands off to Reef, and the Whalers rush to it. I think he'll have enough for a first down. It'll be first and goal, Killingly. But Sumner, the quarterback's a sophomore. Aiden Lamott is a sophomore. Hayden Allard's a sophomore. Joe Mackey's a sophomore. Hunter Allard is a sophomore. So we've named a bunch of guys, and for the most part, they're all sophomores. And so, Reef goes. You can never replace Reef, XR Julius, Ortiz.
Right.
This group's that's an impossible group to replace.
Impossible group, yeah.
But you've got a huge sophomore class of guys who are getting time right now, and that's so huge. Reef gets it again, and through sheer will, reaches for the end zone, and I think he's going to get marked down right on the goal line.
The other thing, too, is that this program has been successful in the most undercover component that we always talk about is off-season training. If you're training in the off-season and you work on those weights and you continue to participate in sports and then go back into the off-season training, that's going to be valuable for a duration of a season that you've seen. I mean, you can see right now the conditioning and the athleticism right now is favoring right now Killingly. Again, they're stronger. Probably down the road, New London will take this and experience this and say, hey, this is where we got to devote our time. The off-season training can make us stronger, better, and faster.
So let's talk a little bit about the playoffs and the teams that still have a chance at the playoffs. Let's start with the Fitch Falcons.
Right.
They are the class of the league right now. They are 7-1. Their only loss being to North Haven, a top-notch team from down the state.
Very good club. Yeah.
They have obviously a big game coming up on Thanksgiving with Ledyard, but if they were to win and finish at 9-1, they will have a home game.
That would be nice to have. On grass.
On grass.
Yeah.
Maybe. if it's a home game. They could go to Rentschler or something like that.
They could.
Big crowd.
Could damn good. They can go right down the hill where there's turf too.
Fair enough. Or they could walk right across the street. Or
right across the street.
So Fitch appears to be in very good shape for a home game. Griswold.
That was another
off
good
of
team.
a huge win last week against Stonington.
That's a good offense running there.
Their only loss came in week 2 to Wyndham.
Right.
They have not lost since. And they now have 2 very winnable games. They look to finish the year 9-1, and they could have a home game.
Yep.
And what a home game that would be.
That would be nice.
For the
brand new turf,
beautiful facility,
yeah,
and I say what
it's
you
come
want.
a long way.
The Griswold fan base, they come out and support that team and that group. That school's got a great fan base. So you'd have Griswold. Now at the same time, Wyndham, with their loss to New London, which gives them 2 losses on the year, I believe they're still 3rd in Class MM, which means that they have 2 winnable games. They are still alive for a home game on their new turf. But even with a loss, as shocking as that sounds, 4 losses, they are still not out of it.
Yeah, that division has a lot of losses in there. Yep.
This loss tonight will effectively take New London out of it. I believe Killingley has already been eliminated.
Yeah.
And so the one
They're a
team.
very good club too.
So we have Fitch in great shape, Griswold in great shape, Wyndham in great shape. And then the one other school, and technically I guess East Lyme is still alive, but that would be some complex math.
Yep.
The one other school is Stonington.
But
But
they've
got to beat Ledyard and Westerly. And I would suggest either of those 2 games are games that they could lose. But if they win both, there's a chance that Stonington could go on the road. And I'll say this, that's the kind of team. If they came in as like the 8 or 7,
could be an upset team.
That's the kind of team. If I were like the 2, I don't want to play a team like Stonington. That's a team with a lot of dynamic playmakers
and energy. Something that you definitely have to be prepared through a lot of film work. But,
they would be, of course.
It's good to see the number. At least we have some good quality numbers that are going to be going to the playoffs.
They would be gaga.
Work fine, yeah.
They would be gaga about getting in.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Would Stonington.
For Coach AJ and that squad, really good program.
Now, Stonington could end up playing Ansonia or Bloomfield in the first round,
which would not be the ideal matchup for Stonington, but and also a rite of passage for ECC teams to play Ansonia and or Bloomfield. So,
well, I know a good friend of mine, Nick Johnson, is coaching there, and their program, again, it's simple but it's strong, and what he's done there is the foundation of their weightlifting program has been the big process. But again, the tradition that they have is something that any team that can go from the ECC that are experienced, I think we wouldn't have been great if we didn't challenge Ansonia those 2 years before we went and played our state championship game. It builds character in our division and in our league, in our area here. I remember when Fitch was tremendous and they were coming here, Staples couldn't beat them. Teams of Massa couldn't beat them, and it became now the ECC powerhouse. So, it fluctuates, but I'm really happy to see that the number of teams that are during this time of the year are not, getting ready to put their pads in. So we're very happy to see that.
2nd and goal. Killingley on top, 27-7. Clock ticks with about a 1:15 remaining in the 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be Nostradamus here, but I'm going to make a guess. Another shiny nickel.
Good grief is given to Soren Reef.
Another shiny nickel says 34.
Yeah.
Gets it.
I got this wooden nickel carved out, ready to go.
2nd down, ball at the 2. Sumner under center, and we got a timeout taken by Killingley. So with that timeout, we'll take a quick timeout. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. After the game, follow Game Day CT on social media to see our pick for the Scient Federal Credit Union top play. Pave the way for your students' financial success with a MySci account from Scient Federal Credit Union. Open a high-yield MySci savings account today and help support a positive financial future for your student. Visit scientfcu.org to learn more. So Griswold is the 6th seed in Class S right now, and Stonington is 8th.
8th, yep.
Now, it would be interesting if Stonington wins those last 2 games. I think they might move up.
Yeah, they could definitely move up.
8, and their teams that might lose in front of them would be interesting. But both Stonington and Griswold control their own destiny. Of course, Class S has Bloomfield and Ansonia in it, so you don't want to finish 8 and 7 if you can avoid it. You'd like to at least get up into the 6th seed. Second and goal, Killingly on the 2-yard line. Sumner gives it to Reef, plunging toward the end zone. Touchdown! 34 for the score, and Killingly tacks on 6. It's 33-7. So after this game was tied at 7, wasn't it?
In the first quarter, yeah.
So that's 26 unanswered points from Killingly.
Yeah, but a lot of key mistakes. We're talking about penalties and fumbles that really changed the tide of the energy of the game, and it's sad it favored a lot New London side.
Logian for the extra point.
And the extra point, number 6, Cooper Logie.
Snap, hold, kick is through, and it's true. It's true. 34-7. Killingly on top. We're going to keep it here. We're going to take a look at where Fitch stands in Class L. Double M. So Fitch is in Double M. And they are currently the 5 team, which would put them in the 5-4 game if nothing changes. Let's bring Peter Wappy in. Who's the 4 right now? If it ended like it is now, who would Fitch be playing?
North Haven.
Ooh, a rematch of their game. They got smoked pretty good by North Haven earlier in the year.
Yeah.
North Haven is a danger. That's a tough thing. If I'm the number 1 seed, I got to play the winner of Fitch North Haven in the
Imagine that.
Wow. Who's number 1 in Double M?
Platt.
Another good team
they're
out of
good.
Meriden. I saw Platt. So Bacon Academy did camp this summer with Xavier and Berlin and Platt. And Platt's line, they are a big crew. They have a big line.
They still run that single wing, which is just phenomenal with the skill players that they have over there. They're tough.
Their line looked like a college group of kids coming out there. Yeah, they were a big group. They were a big group. So that's Fitch in Double M. We just talked about Griswold and Stonington in S&S. Wyndham, Peter, is in M, correct? Killingly to kick it off.
Wyndham's the 3 seed in Double S.
In Double S, the 3 seed in Double S. Gaskin takes it out past the 35 to the 37-yard line. New London will have it there. So Wyndham will have a home game if nothing changes right now. Who is the 1 and 2 in Double S?
Will have it 1st and 10.
Granby Canton is the 1st seed.
They'll start this drive from the 35-yard line.
Coggins, East Hampton, Hale Ray, Trioperative is the 2 seed.
Wyndham can win in Class S, Double S rather. Wyndham can win.
Yeah, they have a really good chance. They have a couple of the Votech schools up there, and they score a lot of points based on their division, but as far as the strength of play, I favor Wyndham.
Yeah, Wyndham's going to look back at games like New London and Killingly and teams like that. Philliston to throw on 1st down, pressured, steps through the pressure, evades, breaks it out, and gains almost 10 yards. We'll see where they mark him out. He was pressured by Anthony Oates, and he ran like Hall.
You caught me in between a yawn, but I tell you right now.
Well, you know what they say about Oates, right?
What's that?
He's a man-eater.
He's a man-eater. There you go. You got me twice. Oh, boy. Got me with the music tonight.
So they're going to give him a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. Whalers go with trips to the left. Killingly showing blitz, low snap. Philliston just falls on it, and he'll lose that gain of 5. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Case is what I'm talking about. One of the things that we diagram that a lot of people really don't know. Tempo and timing of a blitz. Sometimes you blitz right off your alignment stance. Sometimes you creep into a technique that you jump into, or sometimes you go a show. With Killing tonight, they've just been creeping in the last moment, so the center's trying to get his hands adjusted for the snap. He's only got one hand to use for the first punch, and you got a center nose guard coming at you with a linebacker. It's pretty tough there. This is where you expect your guards to step down and help you on that, but Seems like New London's still having a difficult time dealing with it.
We are at the end of the third quarter, 34-7. Killenly putting on a show. We'll be back with fourth quarter action. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. After the game, follow Game Day CT on social media to see our pick for the Scient Federal Credit Union Top Play. Pave the way for your students' financial success with a MySci account from Scient Federal Credit Union. Open a high-yield MySci savings account today and help support a positive financial future for your student. Visit scientfcu.org to learn more. Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe. Fourth quarter action about to begin here at Canamella Field on the campus of New London High School. The Whalers, after a competitive start in a 7-7 ball game, have seen Killingly rattle off 27 straight points to make it 34-7, and they will have a 3rd and 10 as we start the fourth quarter.
The biggest thing is the physicality of this game today has been on Killingly's side. They're coming off the ball. Both sides of the ball, really physical. A lot of bruises on New London side.
Philiston to throw. Pressured, throws over the middle, incomplete. He took a big hit from Oates, and that's going to draw a penalty. Killingly is going to get hit with a roughing the passer penalty on Anthony Oates, and that's going to give New London a first down.
Too much speed for this Killingly defense going against New London. New London's just having a hard time picking it up. Those offensive linemen are like just chicken without heads right now, trying to find out where they need to go, but the movement has just been really good for the Killingly football team.
Ball's moved to the 50-yard line, where the Whalers will have it 1st and 10.
I got to give a shout out to the drummer in this band again today, rocking it. You know, I always wanted to play the drums, but wasn't allowed in the projects.
Can only do so many things, you know. 1st and 10, Whalers, ball at midfield. Motion man across. Little toss jet sweep to Roberts. Roberts has some speed to the outside, and he'll gain 6. It's a nice little run from Darren Roberts.
Definitely a good run. These are the things you were talking about earlier. Give it to the skill players and let them work on some yak yardage.
2nd and 6.
There's a double outside blitz.
Quarterback keeper from Philiston. He'll have about 5. It'll put him a yard short. It'll be 3rd and 1, and the ball about the 40-yard line. So I'm going to make a recommendation. I'm sure many people out there have already seen it. My good friend Mike Susie and his family watched it. I thought they got a sneak preview of it. But the Sylvester Stallone biography documentary on Netflix called Sly, the story of Sylvester Stallone getting his start, Lords of Flatbush through Rocky and all the way through, is a fabulous documentary on Stallone. And if you like him, it's a must-watch. If you don't like him, I'd watch it anyway because it's really, really good. But there's a great story that he tells about Dolph Lundgren and Rocky IV. So he got criticized after Rocky III for the fight sequences with Mr. T looking a little bit artificial, that there wasn't enough reality to the fight sequence.
Yep.
1st and 10, Whalers, ball at the 40-yard line. Philiston gonna throw. Quick screen, it goes out to Barnes. Barnes, a couple good moves, and he'll be chased out of bounds after a gain of 5. So he says, whoever we cast as Ivan Drago, I want to do the fight scenes for real. So Lundgren comes in and reads for the part, and the producers don't want him. Stallone does. They go, he's too tall. He's going to make you look even shorter. We need to, cast somebody else. Stallone says to Lundgren, listen, we're going to bring you back in a month. I need you to go put on 10 pounds of muscle and come in looking like the guy in the park.
Yep.
2nd down and 4. Philiston Again, to Barnes. This is incomplete, being up 3rd down for the Whalers. So long story short, they get Lundgren cast in.
Yep.
And so they get in the ring, and they're going to do a fight sequence, Stallone and Lundgren. And they're doing this sequence where, he's pounding Rocky's body. And after a while, Stallone stops in the ring. He goes, I can't breathe. He brings him over to the side, and they look at his blood pressure. His blood pressure's 260.
He's up there, yeah.
And he can't breathe. He's turning red. His blood pressure's 260. They have to airlift him to a hospital in California where the doctor said that his heart had such a collision that it hit the wall of his chest and caused swelling. Phyllis then pressured by Oates, and a screen pass to Fletcher falls incomplete. It'll be 4th down. The insurance company didn't want to cover it because they did not believe it happened on set. They said the only time they've ever seen that injury was someone hit their chest on the steering wheel of a car. And they had to show the fight sequences to the insurance company to show this is how. So Dolph Lundgren hit him so hard, he caused a car accident to his chest.
His chest, yeah. Well, that was the first time in the movie that they showed the numerical pressure machine. And, they were saying that he was hitting way up there. But that was actually done for real. It wasn't like, oh, okay, yeah, I put another extra couple 100 pounds. Dolph Lundgren can punch, and he's a big guy.
Uh-huh. So, just recently had a birthday, so happy birthday, Dolph Lundgren.
Happy birthday, Dolph. We love you, all right?
But did
if
you
he
know,
dies, he dies.
I'll see if we have time out on the field, and we're going to keep it here.
Yep.
Trivia time. We'll bring Peter Wappy.
Oh, boy. Here we go, Pete.
Rocky Balboa, the fictional character, was played, of course, by Sylvester Stallone.
That's right.
Sylvester Stallone was a professional athlete in another sport. Can you name that other sport?
That's a good one.
Log rolling.
You're close.
Log rolling.
You're very close.
Lumberjack.
It's almost as obscure. Could you know it?
I'm thinking canoeing.
No. What is the last thing in the world you can imagine Sly Stallone doing in the animal world? For me, it would be riding a horse. He was a polo player.
He was a polo player?
His father was a professional polo player.
Wow.
But he played street polo.
That's a shocker.
Street polo with these old glue-ridden nags.
Yeah.
And pickup polo. And when he became Stallone, he bought a polo team. He bought the #1 polo team in the world and played on the professional polo team.
Before I knew the polo was a sport, I knew polo the cologne.
And the rapper.
So
and the rapper.
Just to be clear here, you were saying that log rolling and polo were close?
I was going to say.
There's a fumble. That ball's loose, and I think Killingly has it. Yes, polo and log rolling are equally obscure sports. I've watched more log rolling on ESPN than I have polo.
I was going to say, that's what, log rolling and climbing and everything, but where did polo come from? You know what? Polo used to come right after bull riding back in the day. That's right. That was when cable was the button ones, and then you had to switch. Before the turn knobs.
So so Stallone was in fact a professional polo player.
You ever see bicycle polo?
No, I have not. It is exactly what it sounds like?
Yes, and it is insane.
Really?
I think I might rather be on a horse. First down, Killingly. Toss to Reef. Flag on the play. Reef gets to midfield, but
looks like there's going to be too many men on the field. That young man was running from New London but didn't make it to the sidelines.
Well, I think at this point, I think that would be interesting. I think at this point, New London should be able to have a 12 man. How about every touchdown the opponent scores, you get to add a person on defense?
I think that's Canadian football rules. Yeah, they
so 60-0, you get to play with 18 guys.
You're going to play with 20, But this was a cool thing. Back in the day, God, when I say back in the day, after every New London football game, we had our traditional Whaler alumni football game with guys from all over New London coming in, and sometimes it'll end up being like 20 versus 20. So that's a possibility.
I blocked for Tavares Steele very often in those games. Fake handoff, play action, deep ball in the air, and it's incomplete. He was again looking for Allard, and I think that's the second time that Allard turned his body and stopped the route. Sumner put it in a good spot, but it'll be 3rd and 4.
Going back to Rocky, I never knew it was a true story, but I heard about Butkus and how Butkus was a part of his life, and how he had to sell his dog in order to get that book to be sold. And if it wasn't for Butkus, there would not be a Rocky.
This is true.
That's amazing.
That's why I love Butkus.
Hey, Butkus.
Rest in peace, Mr. Butkus, too. I forgot he.
Turtles and Butkus.
Yep.
Cuff and Link.
Cuff and link. That's
First down, Reef carries it to the 45-yard line. The clock will run 9.5 minutes remaining here. Yeah, it's actually a great documentary. Stallone was in Lords of Flatbush, and his career, believe it or not, Henry Winkler was a huge part of Stallone's career, and got him from Lords of Flatbush when Winkler became the Fonz, and then Stallone with Rocky, and then Stallone tried to make films to show that he was a good filmmaker. Stallone's a much brighter guy than people realize, but they couldn't get some of his movies like Fist.
Yeah.
Just couldn't come through. And then finally, he found his 3 franchises. Toss to Reef. Reef cuts it back against the grain, and he'll get 4 into Whaler territory to the 42. So think about that. He's been Rocky Balboa. He's been John Rambo. And he's been the guy from the Expendables.
And Cobra.
Well, but those were the franchises.
The franchises, you're right.
He's had other great movies. And ironically, I'll give this to Peter Wappy as well. There was one movie that he said if he could go back in time and get rid of this one movie that was the movie least in his character, what's the one movie Stallone would want to get rid of?
Oh, that's a good one. Oscar?
The only one I can think of is Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger, wow.
All right, we'll come after this play. We'll come back. Oscar and Cliffhanger, very good. Reef gets back to the line of scrimmage.
So I love Oscar.
I think Oscar's
that was
hilarious.
Great. It was
a great comedy.
Yeah, great actors in that movie,
But
too.
the answer is the single worst movie, and you would think about it, you're going to go, oh, God, Stop, or My Mom Will Shoot.
Oh, my God.
With Estelle Getty from the Golden Girls.
I saw that in the theater.
Oh, man. Boy, that hurt the liver right there.
Oh, you saw that in the theater?
I would have given up my Wednesday lunch ticket at New London High School to not watch that.
Estelle Getty and Sly Stallone.
That's a good one. Wow, what a great play.
Blowing up the play for the Whalers is Blanding back at midfield. Or actually, that's Jose Rivera.
Yeah.
Jose Rivera blew that one up back at the 50-yard line. Whaler defense creates a 4th and 12.
What a great job. That's the way Stay Home. He was on the outside edge, and he just let the play come to him. And when he grabbed Clark, there was a mismatch in power there. He won that one.
7 minutes and ticking. 4th and long, 4th and 12 for Killingly at midfield. For a guy that made Rhinestone, Oscar.
Rhinestone, yeah, my goodness.
But I mean, that's not
Over the Top.
Over the Top's a great movie. You know, so was Cliffhanger, and
That
I'll
was
tell
a
you why
father
in a
and
minute.
son one. That was a good one to watch. I watched that with Jake.
Reef with the halfback option, looking for Lamont, incomplete, underthrown. I think it's the first thing Soren hasn't done right tonight. He underthrew it, and New London will take over at midfield. No, all those other movies are true to Stallone's action nature. Cliffhanger is what it is. It's not. I mean, you're not going to come out of there thinking about what Nietzsche said. You're going to go in because you went to watch Cliffhanger.
Right.
Same thing with Over the Top. It's a movie about arm wrestling.
Yep.
Guys named Bull and Big 18. I mean, it's not complicated, right? You know, that's what Stallone did. Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. You're just gonna say, why did you do this movie? And when you hear why he did it, it's a great story.
Has he ever done a movie where he was a bad guy?
No, and I will tell you why in a minute. That's true as well. First down, Fletcher in motion. Philistine on the quarterback keeper, and he's tackled. Nice leg tackle. Cut him low. Torrenti made the tackle. It'll be second down. So Stallone had a terrible relationship with his father, and basically agreed that in his entire movie career, he wanted to be liked. That's all he wanted, was to be liked. So he changed endings of his movies to where the good guy wins, because he wanted to be liked and cheered. He's like, there's enough lousy stuff in life. When you go to a movie, the good guy should win, you know? So,
right.
But the answer to your question, why he did it, is because he heard Schwarzenegger was interested in the movie. They had a huge rivalry.
There's a big rivalry between them two.
Phyllis to throw. Sideline route in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Montez, and it'll be third down. So people forget that Schwarzenegger, the Terminator, Commando, all of his action movies were taking place at the same time that Stallone's were, and they were setting records.
Yes.
So you'd have Schwarzenegger set a box office record, and Stallone would top it, and they'd go back and forth. They were very, very competitive, which is why The Expendables was such a big deal, getting the two of them together.
Right,
They're actually good friends now.
Yep.
But at the time, Stallone heard
had-
Schwarzenegger was interested in the movie, so he took it.
They would rival big time.
Philiston throws off his back foot as he was pressured by Reef, incomplete. It'll be 4th down Whalers with 5:43 remaining here in the ballgame.
4th down and 10 for New London.
So this is our last regular season game. Because Thanksgiving's a regular season game, but it's Thanksgiving.
So it's a little special one.
So this is our last during the week game. That's Thanksgiving is our final game of the regular season, but that's the Thanksgiving game. It's a different thing.
Whip out the pecans.
We're gonna find out this week after this slate of games. Philiston to throw, incomplete and intercepted.
Nope.
Incomplete. Killingly better off without the interception because they'll take over on downs at midfield with 5.5 minutes remaining. So we're going to know a lot. Chances are New London NFA will be playing for nothing more than the pride of Thanksgiving and the oldest high school football rivalry. There's a good chance Stonington Westerly will be playing for playoff implications for both teams. East Lyme Waterford are playing for nothing more than border rivalry. However, Fitch Ledyard is likely for Fitch and their spot in the playoffs. Fullback dive to Reef, breaks one tackle, gains 4 to the 45. It'll be interesting whether or not Fitch could absorb a loss on Thanksgiving and still be in as the 5 seed. That's going to be tough, and it would certainly force them on the road and put them. But of course, Thanksgiving, because it's a rivalry week, has so many good teams that are in the playoff race playing against each other. What does the 8 team look like right now in there, Peter?
So there are teams with 1 and 2 losses all the way down to 10. So it'll come down to tiebreaker points if they were to lose.
That's a big game on Thanksgiving. Ledyard and Fitch. Hand off to Reef, big hole, speed to the outside. Soren Reef crosses the 30 and tripped up at the 10-yard line by Gaskin. But Reef with a big gain. It's been a while since he popped one, and Killingly is in the red zone and possibly 1st and goal. They're going to mark him just outside the 10, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the 11.
In a situation like this, you say, hey, offense, we're going to try to manage the clock. We're going to run the ball. But this being a running team, I mean, they're just doing what they're doing normal right now.
Ball is at the 11-yard line.
Yeah, that drummer's got it going on today. Huh. I used to drum like that, like with pencils back in graphic arts class in London.
Toss to Reef, off right tackle. Makes one man miss and then just kind of bulls his way for 2.
You know, I got to give a shout out this year is our brother Paul Santiago, the arts master. And
our guy.
That picture of us together is still one of my favorites. You know, got you being like Mean Gene Okerlund while I'm sitting there looking as healthy as I could ever be. Imagine that. Boy,
Paul's a talented dude, and I
love him.
Paul's a classmate of mine all the way back to Nathan Hale Elementary School. He was talented even back then, but it's so good to see him.
He dedicated the October season to all of his family and friends. It's great to see that. All those drawings.
Reef gets it after a broken play fumble and tries to chuck to Sources, but he'll be tackled for a loss.
Great effort by New London right there. That's a pursuit that you want to have, consistently, but they wrapped him up.
3 minutes remaining in the ball game. 2nd and 11, maybe 12 for Killingly. They're content letting time run as they have a big 34-7 lead.
You know, the good thing about New London is that they're still playing very good as far as not giving up on themselves. Nobody's got their head down. They're playing hard, and this could lead to positive things. I mean, it's going to be a winning season for them if they get a chance to play NFA and get a victory right there from them.
Oh, Reef bounces off of Jones, heads to the outside, puts his shoulder down, heads for the pylon, and Reef is knocked out right at the goal line, but what a physical run from Soren Reef.
Great power. Great power. I'll tell you, Whalers are going to feel it the next day with the way he's been running. I mean, you wrap and tackle him, you're going to have some contusions.
Well, they have 2 weeks
Yeah.
before their next game,
Amen.
so it's almost like a bye week.
It's just so sad. A team like Killingley, who's been successful year after year after year, and not making it in the playoffs because their division is a very good division. You know, Soren Reef is going to be sorely missed in the playoffs.
Well, they played Massac, who has 2 losses, Notre Dame, who has 1, and Fitch, who has 1.
That's it.
Handoff to Reef.
Great stop.
Center of the New London line, rallies and knocks him back for a yard. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 2.
Now, I don't know that Killingley is out officially.
Can we take a look and see where they stand?
Peter, you're making my day.
So Killingley sits in 9th right now.
Oh. Are there any teams from the top 8 that are going to face each other?
And is the team at 10 capable of leapfrogging them?
Fairfield Ludlow?
So Fairfield Ludlow does not have an especially strong strength of schedule.
Reef. Soren is scoring one more time, and Killingley's up to 40. It's 40-7.
Now ahead of them in the 8th spot is New Milford, who is 6-2, but plays Massac tomorrow.
Yeah, this week they're both 6-2.
Oof.
And that loss, if New Milford were to lose to Massac, I'm not Ned Griffin with the playoff maths.
Well, give it to me if you can.
Kick is up and through, 41-7. Killingley on top.
It seems conceivable that, based on the numbers there, that Killingley could fight for that 8th spot.
Who's in 7?
7 is South Windsor at 7-2 with a final game against 1-7 Rocky Hill.
So realistically, Killingley's hope would be win and hope that New Milford loses to Massac, which is absolutely possible.
Wow. So if Peter was saying it, you're telling me that
There's a skip-scap-skadoodle chance of going into the playoffs, huh? I'm excited.
now, knowing the scoring points from the old way, but seeing some of the new additives, victories of the teams that they have beaten also add into the mix of points.
You get points for the
10 points
for every win you get, plus for all the wins of the teams that you get.
So everybody, if let's just say everybody's that the Redmond, the Killingley football team played, all have a good victory in there. Those will tally up, and that could be something they could slide them right in there, right?
Right. So Killingley would probably need. So New London plays Fitch.
You say New London.
I mean, New London plays NFA. Yep. Killingley beat both, so
right.
It doesn't matter.
Exactly, but the Fitch game, let's say
they need Fitch to win.
Right.
They need all the points they can get. That ball is loose off the kickoff. Killingley has it at the 25-yard line, and with 1 minute and 3 seconds remaining, it'll be interesting to see what Coach Neal does here.
I believe
in fact,
his last name
does
is
he
Neal. Yeah, it would be. Or could it be a diamond?
Looking at the schedules in Class L, there's the potential for a 3 or 4 teams to finish with 3 losses. Darien is 6-2. They're going to have to play New Canaan on Thanksgiving.
That's going to be a good one there, yeah.
Shelton 6-2. They've got Xavier and Wilton.
Victory formation for Killingley.
Class act, as always, Chad Neal. That's what, when you're a winning program.
So true, brother. That's a class act right there.
Well, because you don't need to prove anything to anybody.
Nothing
when
to
you're a
prove.
winning program, you kneel on the ball and you say, thanks for the effort, guys. And that's what Killingley will do. So you're going to want to stay tuned after the game to all of our social media, because you're going to want to see the Scient play of the game. You're going to want to see the interview with Coach Chad Neal, and you're going to want to see the interview with our player of the game. Hint, 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 he's a beast.
I agree.
We'll be back on Thanksgiving. We're not going to announce just yet where we're going to be. You're going to have to figure that out, but there's a lot of possibilities. And all
Shout out to Mrs. Reed
and
for the cookies.
shout out to Mrs. Reeve for the cookies.
That's right. I'm going to have some right now that my sugar level is at 85.
But we're going to hope that Killingly is still it looks like they're mathematically alive, and let's hope that possibly there's another chance for them to get in. Wouldn't that be special to have
That would be
5
really
teams from the ECC in the playoffs? That would be great.
Really awesome feeling there.
As the players shake hands and the clock turns to 0 at Pat Canamella Field on the campus of New London High School, it's Killingly 41, New London 7. For the coach, Pasta Santabria, Peter Wappy, and the crew, I am Casey O'Neill. We'll see you on Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thanksgiving.